Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing today? Everybody good? Everybody good? We are here tonight on. Wait, hold on one second. I always forget one thing when I start stream. All right. Okay. Cool. So we're ready. We're back in action. How is everybody doing on this fine uh evening? Right? It's evening for most of us. Morning, I guess, if you're in Europe. Um, how's everybody doing? We don't. So I am fairly well rested. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. We have a lot of stuff to cover. Special shout out to Blurg, who's filling the fucking inbox. Like, holy shit. Blurg is single-handedly, this community is being carried by Blurg. Okay, Blurg is the Atlas of AG4L. Okay, holding this shit on his shoulders. GG's with the 5. First dono of the night. Where's the do-rag you promised? I never promised that, but thanks. Appreciate it. I never said I'm wearing a do-rag. When was that ever a promise? You people are out of control sometimes. Do the nay-nay? Didn't Silento, didn't he like murder somebody and then tried to attack his cousin with like a hatchet and then killed somebody or some shit? You said a week ago. I never said that, okay? I literally never said that. Go find where I said that because I didn't. I would never do that. Boy in the striped pajamas ass drip. Well, it's All Saints, bro. Never heard of All Saints? Um, Screenshot and icy. Let's look. What are you wearing? What is your haircut? Dude, what is your haircut? You don't even get your haircut. What are you talking about? Oh, so apparently we have an update to the David situation. Okay, there is now an update to the David situation. So let us take a look at this. For those of you that don't know, David, a musician living in Los Angeles, was apparently, almost definitively, dating a minor since 2022. She was like 12 years old, I guess, when their relationship started. She disappeared last year at the age of like 15, right? I think she was 15 years old when she went missing. Um, her body was discovered in David's Tesla while he was on tour, and it is almost certain that she was residing with him while being an active runaway as a minor. Now, presently, everyone's like, why don't the police just arrest him? Why don't the police just arrest him? Because, first of all, you get one shot at a trial, right? You want to make sure before you go in that you have a case because there's something called double jeopardy where if he is found not guilty, you can't go back and try him for the same charges. So just because the internet thinks they know what happened does not mean law enforcement is at a point right now where they're ready to go in and make an official arrest. This happens all the time. We don't just want, if he did it, we don't just want him arrested. We want him to stay in jail, stay in prison. But in the course of this investigation, sleuths decided to take it upon themselves to do some digging. Okay? And it was at that point that apparently somebody had found, because his car, the Tesla where the body was found in, was abandoned on a street, and it later went to an impound. Now, a Redditor went to that same street and found what seems to be the key to the Tesla. Now, to be fair, okay, this is Los Angeles. Like everybody drives Teslas or Cybertrucks, or not everybody drives Cybertrucks. That's ridiculous. But there are like I do notice there's like a higher quantity of Teslas here than anywhere else. in the country. The first time I ever saw a Cybertruck was here, and I've seen Cybertrucks now multiple times. Um, but for those of you that don't know, right? For those of you that don't know, there is something called chain of evidence, right? Or chain of custody, and if that between who handles the evidence and between its discovery to its use to its like usage for conviction, et cetera, et cetera. Chain of custody is like very serious in trials because if chain of custody is not ensured, the defense can create reasonable doubt as to like the evidence presented. And the guy who's allegedly found this is touching it with his own hands, right? His skin cells are now rubbing off on that. So if they were going to look for DNA to find the last handlers of the car prior to its abandonment, his DNA is also now going to be on there. But I don't think this is as big of a deal as people are making it because chain of custody, the integrity of it, is actually violated all the time, right? And there are ways to, like, just because he touched it doesn't mean if there's other DNA there, they're not going to be able to get it. But and also, that's not really going to, I don't think, be as integral of a part of their case as people want to pretend it is, whether or not the DNA is on the car keys. It helps, right? Because it will show maybe potentially it was the last person that handled it. But the other problem you have here is that touch DNA, which is like when your like oils from your body and your skin cells, rub off on the items you touch. You're always shedding skin cells. The other problem is touch DNA is not necessarily permanent. It's destroyed by exposure to the elements. One of the biggest elements that could destroy it is rain. Another one is sunshine, because just like how you get the sun burns your skin, you get sunburn from the radiation. That radiation, which also increases your risk of skin cancer like melanoma, that's because the radiation from the sun affects your DNA, right? That DNA also degrades or can be mutated or altered by exposure radiation when it's off your body. So DNA evidence from sunlight exposure can actually degrade as a result of that. And also, it's clearly wet, right? So if there was skin cells or oil or whatever on it, there's a good chance it's already gone at that point. It was in a gutter, so like water would be running through there. Like even though this guy touched it, I doubt they're gonna have a whole lot to work with anyway. But this is not gonna break the case, okay? I think that's delusional. I think the Redditor is stupid, right? But like that's just what happens when police do not secure evidence at the scene. But you're gonna really now have 3, maybe 4 crime scene or like areas of interest for this crime, right? Because the car was left abandoned, right? That's the last place whoever was driving it and probably knew there was a body in there, had made contact with the vehicle. Then it was taken to an impound lot, right, where it was discovered, where the body was discovered. But you're also going to have, it's most likely she was not killed and dismembered within the car itself. So you're going to have the site she died, and potentially maybe even a different site where the body was like disposed of or handled prior to its disposal. Are you okay? Why do you keep out? Yeah, I'm okay. 5 hours of sleep was not enough. Okay, I'm fine. Thanks, Doc. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. Appreciate it. It's your fault. He's going to go away for years. It's not my fault, but also that'd be a good thing if he did it and went away because of it. Just to be clear, it is almost certain that he was involved, right? Now, whether or not he was the only actor, I'm not sure of. I think he very well could have had an accomplice. I think he could have had an accomplice that helped with the disposal of the body. 67 viewers? Yeah, like we just started. Oh, you're doing what is the meat? Like, I don't understand the joke. Like, what is the joke? What is the joke? I don't get 6'7". What is the joke? Bro, you look terrible. Are you okay? Yes, I am okay. Thank you. The joke is that there is no joke. Fucking hate my life, dude. Are you? I'm all right. What do you need to ask if I'm all right? I'm good. I'm good. What would indicate that I'm not all right? Okay, I'm good. I'm relatively good. All right. You look unwell. Um, I mean, I've been feeling a little unwell, but I'm not. I don't feel that unwell right now. Your appearance, you seem sad and sickly. Um, who knows? Maybe I'm coming down with something, but I'm not sad. No nicotine. My vape's been on 0%. I've literally been rationing it. I've been rationing it. I'm fine. I'm good. Like I am. I'm good. I'm in a good mood. Okay. I'm in a good mood. I've been enjoying playing on the Minecraft server, which you guys should join. We have big plans for J Town. Um, yeah, I'm good. But speaking of missing minors, okay, there was a report out of Florida a few days ago. I believe it was on the 26th. There was a report out of Florida of a missing minor. So we are now going to check that case out. Um, now, you're probably going to know if you've read the title how this story is going to end, but there's some details that I found a little bit funny um, about this other case. This case isn't funny; it's actually tragic. But this next case is a little funny. Could be a little funny. Okay, where is this? So this kid out of Marion County in Florida, which by the way, I don't know what it is about Marion County. It seems like every insane. It's not like remember the Florida man shit. It should be more like Marion County man. I don't know what it is about that place. Like I don't know. What's funny about missing children? I don't know. So his name was or is Caden Spite. Okay, he vanished on the 25th and law enforcement. But the details of how he went missing were a little bit uh, hazy, right? He had texted his mom that he had been shot by four Hispanic men, okay, and then radio silence. He's reported missing. I think his car was found at one point, or law enforcement confirmed he may have been near a shooting. Um, but he was reported missing, and the next day, due to the circumstances of his disappearance, despite only being missing for a day, the search was on, right? I think law enforcement went full guns blazing. You had helicopters in the air, search dogs. They were really looking for this kid. Um, and, rightfully so. When people go missing, especially minors, it should be taken with the utmost of seriousness. A lot of times, missing minors, especially older missing minors, like that are, 17, are treated as like runaways, and then the police don't really seem to care all that much. But regardless, okay, this didn't. This was he went missing under suspicious circumstances. An Amber Alert was therefore issued. But because he was kidnapped by four Hispanic men, do you know exactly who was like really, really, really talking about this kidnapping? I can't recommend these enough. Put them on your kids' keys, backpacks, or even in their shoes. Okay, first of all, you sound schizophrenic. Second of all, if he was if he was like legitimately like murdered, which is probably what happened if he had been shot, right? The the air tag is just going to show you where he last was, which they were able to find actually pretty quickly without one, just by virtue of like him being on his phone, right? They could ping to like nearby cell towers. I am afraid this will not end well. No doubt the perps are some of Joe Biden's buddies. So true. Some people, were a little more suspicious, right? You're shot and you're like having the time to let. This is, by the way, all the fucking like moronic parents that make the argument that we should not regulate the usage of phones in school. They're like, how can my kid text me if there is a school shooting? Like they think that this is what happens, where the kid's like, Mom, I have been shot by a school shooter. I am in classroom number such and such. Come around through the back hallway and personally rescue me in the event. Here's an angle. I've seen pics of him in a rodeo environment, which has been dominated by Latino men in more recent years. Could it have been because he was seen as competition to them? Okay, so the Mexicans are jealous of 17-year-olds at rodeos, so they're taking them out one by one. Caden better be found alive, or four deceased Hispanic men will be next, found in a burning white van. So they're getting the pitchforks ready. Okay, they're ready to go out and like lynch Hispanics. How terrifying! More blood on liberals' hands. The Democrats did this. But also, right, there was one comment I found particularly funny from hold on, where is it? I saw one reply that I feel like was really worth addressing. Hold on, I think it's right here. Wait, where is it? I guess she deleted the tweet. Okay, I think she just like deleted the tweet because I bookmarked it and now it's not here. So essentially what happened was some woman replied with my niece in Florida tonight told me that she wouldn't do her Spanish homework now because she's so sad about this happening. I can't blame her. What like, huh? Some like 17-year-old went missing. You hear Hispanic in the story. So now you're not going to do your Spanish homework. I think your niece just didn't want to do her homework. I don't think it had anything to do with this. Oh, wait, sorry. I was looking at the book. I'm retarded. My 10-year-old niece in Florida called me last night praying for this young man and not wanting to do her Spanish homework because the four men who took him are Hispanic. God bless and protect all the children of the world. Oh, I was looking at another tab. I have two monitors. And then, where is it? So, spoiler alert, he was found alive and safe. Why he texted his mom he'd been shot, I don't know. Why he didn't contact her, I don't know. The working theory is he ran away and he wanted to give some plausible deniability, like, or he didn't want people to look for him, but he didn't realize that, like, doing this would actually probably make people look for him even more. Like, had he not texted her that he'd been shot by four Hispanic men, he probably before they would not have called out like helicopters and shit, right? It would probably be treated as potentially some kind of runaway. Um, Apparently, also well, his family obviously. I don't know if this has like anything to do with it, but his family are like big Trump supporters. Apparently he is as well. I don't really know about that. But this was seemingly they want to pretend like this is another Jussie Smollett case. No, I have a nuanced view on this. That's actually not going to be the one you think it is. Okay? Now, the quartering, who I don't like, tweeted out when this was discovered, and I appreciate this, by the way. He should get the exact same amount of jail time that the fraud Jussie Smollett got. Now, despite thinking the quartering is an idiot, I can appreciate that at least one person was willing to say, hold the same standard. Hold the same standard, even though he's a member of our side. Hold the same standard. It doesn't seem like that happens a whole lot nowadays. So I can appreciate that kind of, right? Even though the quartering peas in the basement. But I actually disagree with him here, although I appreciate the sentiment. We do not know enough details about this yet, and a lot of the times, kids, like, it's not like he was from a broken home, as far as we knew. He had parents together, they owned a farm, etc., etc. Kids who have great lives, they can run away, but it's not typical. Like, I want to know why he ran away. I want to know why he ran away. Because this could be a case where there's some sort of child abuse going on and he couldn't take it anymore and left, right? And if that's true, it's like, I don't think this was a kid going out there trying to fake a hate crime or Jussie Smollett wanted people to like believe he was the victim of some sort of hate crime, and Caden did wanted people to believe he was the victim of a crime, but the intentions are probably a bit different there, right? Like, I want to know more details before I call this kid, incredibly guilty or whatever. Is it a case of he ran away and because he's 17, he made up some impulsive excuse that he thought would stop people from looking for him, right? And if that's the case and he ran away because of something like abuse, I think he should be treated like a victim. Did he have to specify that they were Hispanic? No. But his parents are Trump supporters. He might be as well. And he probably wanted them to worded it in a way that he wanted them to believe or some shit. I don't know. Like, I think that was totally unnecessary. Horrible thing to, like, decision, horrible thing to do. But I'm not going to care all that much if he was a victim of abuse. So I want to wait and see what happens before he's charged with anything. I can appreciate the sentiment to hold the same standard, but I just want to wait a little bit longer. His brain hasn't finished developing yet. Give the poor kid a break. Now, hold on, okay? Hold on. Because, yeah, he's 17, his brain, which contributes to being more impulsive, right? Which contributes to being more impulsive. But if it was the case that he did this for the sake of, for attention and, like, didn't actually intend to run away, wasn't being abused, etc., etc., then no, I'm not in favor of giving him a break. At 17, I know he's like a fucking clean-cut white kid or whatever, but, like, yeah, at 17, in many contexts, he'll be tried as an adult. Now, I don't think his life should be ruined by any means. I think he should, like, if it turns out he did this for attention, I think he should, like, I don't know if there's going to be a Hispanic community center in, like, Marion County, Florida, but, like, should be, like, court ordered to, I don't know, go, like, participate or volunteer at some Hispanic Heritage Museum or center or whatever the fuck. And maybe even a little bit, maybe even so like a fine and like a night in jail. I think that's fine. If he has no prior criminal history, I don't really know if jail is gonna be like the best solution to this, right? I'm okay with like a night in jail, so you fucking like, you know, learn what it's like when you do this kind of shit. But I don't really know if punitive jail is like gonna be like giving him a jail sentence for punitive reasons is gonna be effective, right? I'm more in favor of like restorative and preventative justice than like punishment. I believe people should be locked away to the public's benefit and possibly their own benefit. Like the only reason I advocate for sentences of life is for the sake of protecting the public, not because I'm a believer in like punitive justice. He should actually, you know what we should do? We should get him to like volunteer at Toki's house and like clean his room, because Toki's room, I've heard from some sources, is like has been like a pigsty all week. His mom's been out on vacation, and when she gets back, she's gonna like start beating him with a Zapato. So I think that he should come to Toki's house and like help clean the disgusting mess in his that he calls a room. Your room is clean, Cap. Cap. So, for our next topic, has anybody ever heard of Parlo? I've spoken to this guy. I don't remember what the context was. You know, he seemed like a little bit neurotic and autistic or whatever. And I did see some like Pyro fans try to like make some sort of allegations against him that I didn't really think were all that relevant. He seems just like a spurg in general. I don't know what his deal is, but he's going really hard on trying to do what Turkey Tom couldn't, and you know, get Pyro over some of these old allegations. I don't exactly remember the full extent or details of what the Pyro shit, you know, entailed. I felt like his excuse and like the willingness to completely like throw it away as a result was, simply put, not adequate, right? And nice voice crack. Oh my god, a 20-year-old had a voice. I've heard people older than me have. We literally were watching like a Tommy C stream, and Tommy C had a voice crack. It fucking happens. But apparently he's been working on this pyrocynical video. Well, I gotta get a tissue, bro. Hold up. One sec. All right, sorry. So it looks like he's been working on some kind of video meant to do what Tom failed to do in regards to pyrocynical. And that video, I don't know what's happened to it. And also there were allegations that Parlo was like being abused by his like parents. I don't know what was. There's like so much lore to these. The Roblox types are like the ACC types, where essentially they there's just like every person you find in like regards to them, it just has like a laundry list of fucking allegations. It got delayed again. Okay, but apparently he got arrested. Let's check this out. Now look, I don't think you're a bad person because you get arrested, as I've said before. Depends on what he got arrested for that I'm gonna care, okay? If like, honestly, it's kind of badass if you're like getting arrested for like pissing on a cop car or some shit. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna LARP that hard. Do not piss on cop cars. It's disgusting.
Over the last few weeks, I've seen countless comments asking the same question: where did the Roblox YouTuber Parlo go? It's been almost 3 weeks since he last uploaded, and today I'm going to answer that question. To put it simply, on September 11th, Parlo was falsely arrested by the UK police after a wave of false reports connected to the dupe situation were made. If you're unfamiliar,
have you ever been arrested I have been at one point detained by law enforcement, but I've not been arrested. No. And it is a story that makes me sound way cooler than I actually am. But it's a lot of OPSEC, so I don't really care to tell it. Um, I'm sure it will be figured out one of these days.
Familiar with what that situation is, I'll explain everything in this video and show you why this was a gross misuse of the justice system and how the UK police were misled and abused their authority in an attempt to find something that wasn't there.
That was not the real story. Everyone is so autistic.
But before we get into all of that, I need your help to make sure that the truth actually gets out. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts on the situation. Also,
I have never assaulted a member of law enforcement. I've never stolen the gun of a member of law enforcement. If I did either of those things, I would be in jail. Or I would have been in jail. I'd never you can like go and like search for public records of an arrest. You won't find anything because I've never been charged with a crime. I didn't take a cop's gun. You would see record of an arrest somewhere.
Share this video with a friend. It really helps to spread the truth and fight back against the misinformation that's been going around. With that being said, let's get into the video. Now, before we talk about the arrest itself,
No, you're right. I actually murdered someone. I just like cut someone in half with a fucking chainsaw, and then like stole a cop's gun. It's because it gets taken off your record. I'm pretty sure you have to apply for it to get expunged, if that's true. No, I did not steal a gun. That's like very serious, by the way, stealing a cop's gun. And that's like a really easy way to get yourself fucking shot by their partner, by the way. And also, it's not easy, right? They typically have guns holstered, right? And if a gun is in their hands, how are you gonna grab, like, who the fuck is gonna go and try to grab it out of their hands? Sure? Okay.
Back and explain what the dupe situation actually was, because this entire false arrest revolves around that. Earlier this year, Parlo announced that he would be making a video about Pyrocynical, exposing all the allegations that Pyrocynical managed to escape accountability for, specifically the allegations, with just one of the many insane accusations being Pyrocynical having a romantic relationship with the 14-year-old while he was 18, and even admitted that he was willing to wait until they turned 16 to make things official. That kind of behavior is very clearly, and Parlo was calling it out publicly. However, instead of people supporting him for taking a stand, many began to harass him for simply speaking up, and
I don't know how it is in America. I mean, to put things vague, right? I adequately not using any violence or force, right? Of course I used force. I had defended myself from somebody that was harming me, right? I defended myself from somebody that was harming me. I had been detained, and when they figured out what happened, or got the whole story, I was taken out of cops and allowed to go, and no charges were filed, right? I never got arrested. I never got taken to the police station. I've never been in a jail cell. I've never, assault on a defenseless... Yeah, that's what I did.
this is where things took a darker turn, because that's also how the dupe situation first surfaced. In April of 2025, a person named Dupe went onto the
Oh, it's not oversharing. It's not an embarrassing story. Real, it's not like, at least it's not embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing for the other person. It's not embarrassing for me.
subreddit and started spreading false claims about Parlo. In his post, Dupe claimed that Parlo, when he was 19 years old, tried to meet up with Dupe, who claimed he was for purposes. Dupe, however, lied about everything and left out the fact that he told Parlo he was 17, which would have...
This is the other thing that, like, I hate what people do. And by the way, I do think this is relevant to report on if it's an issue of genuine concern. But when somebody is spearheading allegations against somebody else, or facilitating the dissemination of those allegations, a common point of response, and we saw this the other day with the snunt allegations, is to go and dig up dirt on the person discussing said allegations. Now, if that's true, it could contribute to them being an unreliable narrator if the story is dependent upon, or if the story hinges on their credibility, right? And they're not utilizing objective evidence. It could also be used to prove hypocrisy, but the source could be like a cannibalistic murderer, right? But that doesn't get rid of the fact that if they are facilitating allegations against you and have objective proof that can be independently verified by the public in the course of those allegations, then if they're a good or bad person, that's not really going to be super relevant, at least in the course of assessing your guilt, right? TMI, bro. Dude, this Toki guy, I'm gonna go to jail, and I am gonna go to jail one day, and it's gonna be we're kicking Toki's ass, dude. I'm pulling up, Toki. I know where you're at. I'm pulling up. We're gonna get in a fight, okay? And that's what I'll go to jail for, and I will do so gladly. I'll explain it to the court. I'll read off your one guys, and the jury and the court will get up and clap. They'll get up and clap and applaud me with a standing ovation, and everyone will cheer. Stop crying. I'm crying right now. Now, bro, I'm obviously fucking joking. It's a joke. It's banter, okay? Toki's a good friend of mine. It's banter. It's banter, okay? It's just like banter. Calm down. You are not joking. Okay, so true.
Been nothing more than a normal high school relationship, perfectly legal and appropriate. What would actually happen was the complete opposite of what Dupe tried to make it look like. He claimed he was younger than what he originally said, and that single lie spiraled completely out of control. People who already hated Parlo jumped on that misinformation, twisting it into a fake narrative that spread across Twitter.
Yeah, if a lot of people don't like you for, if anything, like I've said this before, if you don't like somebody and you hear allegations against them, if anything, you should be more critical of those allegations than you would if you were neutral on a person, because your own biases can lead you to just accept certain things as fact, and that may actually have no basis, and you could potentially be just like completely defaming somebody, which would just actually just have super negative effects on yourself, because when it does get debunked, you look like a spiteful, like false allegation maker or whatever the fuck. A good example of this would be, you know, when I first had that argument with Morale, and I really did not like him then as a result, a lot of people took it upon themselves to start messaging me with like their interactions with him and like allegations that they've heard. And I didn't run with those because there was zero evidence. I was actually more critical of it. They wanted to utilize the fact that I didn't like him to disseminate their allegations that I just saw no evidence to. When it comes to the public, when there's a bandwagon against somebody or a given community really doesn't like somebody, they will literally accept everything as fact. So you need to, and it's easy for me to say, don't do this when I'm not a part of that crowd. Okay, we're all susceptible to mob mentality, but it's just a good thing to know so you can like check yourself if you are, you know, if you're becoming susceptible to it. Had to sub for this? You were 20? I am 20, yes. Why? Did you think I was younger, older?
Reddit and Discord. Now, what Dupe did on that subreddit wasn't just a simple post, it was a full-blown smear campaign. He claimed Parlo was 19 and that he was only at the time they supposedly interacted, completely fabricating both the timeline and his own age. But here's the reality. Dupe had spent over a year pretending to be 17, even telling Parlo multiple times that he was turning 18 soon. And it wasn't just a one-time lie. These messages clearly show Dupe saying things like, "I'll be 18 in a year," and "I'm 17, turning 18. These weren't accidents. These were deliberate lies repeated over and over again to make Parlo believe he was talking to another older teenager. Parlo had no reason to think otherwise. Dupe acted like a mature person, talking about drinking, trauma, and even working a job, things a year-old wouldn't realistically talk about.
He doesn't. Also, the other thing too is, right, if it were a case of, it's like, oh, how can you not tell they're 12, right? How can you not tell they're 12? If these are, unless they called, by the way, if the two of them called one another and he heard his voice, there are actually people that e-date that don't hear each other's voices. It's bizarre. Parlo's like an autist in a gaming community. I actually wouldn't be that surprised, to be fair. But like off of typing alone, it wouldn't immediately become apparent to me that this person is like 12. But that's why you like don't e-date. Well, that's not true. You can e-date, but you want verification of people's ages and personal lives, etc., etc. That's a rough 20. Do I look older than 20? I hear opposite things all the time. It's a rough 20. I thought you would be older. It makes me feel so old when I find people I watch being younger than me. I feel the same, actually. I feel the same. Like, I was just covering a drama. I am just so used to being the youngest, okay? In, like, everything. Because I was online so young. But, like, I was covering a drama, like, the other day. With, like, 18, 19-year-olds. And I know that's not that much younger than me or whatever. But I'm just, like, always used to being the youngest. You look 24-ish? Bro, because what I get told I get told by my detractors I look like I'm 16. And then other people will tell me I look 24. I think it honestly depends on the day. Some days I look 24. Some days I look like my age. Really depends. The smoking is aging you negatively. I barely smoke anymore. I barely smoke anymore.
Or even know in detail. Dude played the role of a 17-year-old perfectly, and it was all
I have maybe like two cigarettes a week.
intentional. But once Parlo started calling out Pyrocynical, everything changed. Duke suddenly came out publicly, twisting the whole story and making it sound like Parlo, a 19-year-old, had knowingly dated a 12-year-old. He posted it to Pyrocynical's subreddit and it instantly went viral, gaining over 3,000 upvotes. The post accused Parlo of being a hypocrite, saying he exposed Pyrocynical for a 4-year age gap while dating a 12-year-old.
If I was fishing for compliments, I would not do it in this chat, just to be clear, because if I tomorrow woke up and looked like when Squidward got like hit in the face by SpongeBob, okay? I woke up, I had like an insane jawline, I was muscular built, etc. Everyone would tell me I look like shit, okay? I would not fish for compliments in this chat.
Himself. That statement wasn't just misleading, it was a complete lie. Because of this, people started calling Parlo up, flooding his replies with disgusting comments like him and guess it's not so funny when it happens to him, you should. These weren't just harmless insults, these were career-ending, life-destroying accusations, all built on false claims. Even worse, well-known figures like Nathrix, who'd been accused of far worse himself, jumped in to spread the same narrative, calling Parlo a
not Natty Foreskin, bro. Natty Foreskin. Good former friend of Jalen's. Another great I was actually trying to unprivate that VOD. Somebody has it re-uploaded on a channel of my debate with Pragmatic Leftist on Tipster. Okay, that was one of my earliest debates. And Pragmatic Leftist was actually Pragmatic Leftist, who, by the way, I have no bad blood with. When they're like reasonable and down to earth, I don't have bad blood with them. I've made that clear, right? But when they get angry, they lose all self-control and they like threaten to like sue me and like call the police on me and like were saying I was contributing to people's deaths and that I'm a sociopath and that like or what was the other thing? They accused me once, and I shit you not, this was an actual accusation that was made by them towards me. They said that I wanted to behead black babies. Okay, that is what they said to me. Why? I have absolutely I have no clue. But they were dating Natty Foreskin at one point, and it's like, dude, this Natty Foreskin is so weird. They rely on the fact that there are so many situations about them. They rely on the fact that there are so many different situations about them that like you couldn't possibly learn every like minute detail of all of them. So when you actually talk to them about the allegations against them, they'll be like referring to like hyper specific details to like refute what you're saying, and you can't actually verify any of it because you don't know who or what part of this that they're like presently speaking on. But this person has like in fucking ungodly amount of allegations against them
without ever checking the facts. The irony of someone like him spreading that narrative speaks for itself. And to make things even more disturbing,
I don't know if Natty Forsyth is a predator. I'm not comfortable arguing for it at this point because I just don't remember all the details. But I do remember that at the very least, this person has been insanely negligent in their online interactions with minors. The only reason I'm not going further than that is because I don't remember the specifics. What I do know, what is verifiable, is that when they were a legal adult, I think 19 or 20, they had sent some shock image in a group chat of somebody's dick getting cut off in a sewing machine back when like people thought it was like funny to send gore, which was like weird, I guess. But when I looked into that, it didn't look like there was a sexual motivation. It looked like this person, I guess, wanted to be funny, and in the course of doing so, revealed themselves to be an antisocial freak that sent something incredibly inappropriate to a group of minors. And if they couldn't understand as an adult why that is like an incredible problem, I don't know why they should like have an online platform, which at the time was like making videos in a community that relatively attracts the attention of that regularly attracts the attention of children, maybe predominantly so.
This whole dupe story didn't come out of nowhere. It was boosted by groups like the UTTP, a community infamous for faking tweets, doctoring screenshots, and fabricating fake evidence against YouTubers.
They do more than that.
These are the same people who used Inspect Element to make it look like Parlo had admitted to having illegal material at a time when Parlo didn't even have control of his own social media.
They do way more than that!
Accounts because of his father hijacking them. So what happened next was predictable. People took those fake screenshots and dupe slides, combined them, and built an entire false narrative that painted Parlo as a monster. But when you look at the facts, the messages, the timelines, and even Dupe's own work,
like, the most powerful, effective propaganda tool online is Inspect Element, because we've no longer reached a point where people are even willing to like do the work at like being skeptical of just a mere screenshot. Like, how many dramas have occurred where we need to realize what we need most of the time to make conclusive decisions, especially if it is the more insane the claim is or the more extreme the claim is, the more critical you need to be of it, right? But like, you know, message IDs are very important, screen recordings, etc., etc. I understand people delete messages, so sometimes getting that is going to be hard, but other things you can get to like verify what you're saying is the responses of other participants in the conversation.
Words where he retracted what he said. The truth is obvious. Parlo was manipulated, not malicious. Now I do want to make one thing clear. When I personally...
By the way, if you guys want to help us hit Streamly goal, I'll be live. Okay, I don't make promises now, but I will probably be live again tomorrow. We're going to be getting into this regularly. You want to support the channel? Great way to help us out is to contribute to the stream by donating through Super Chats in the chat, the buttons in the chat, and then Streamlabs, the link is in the description. Thank you.
Read some of these messages myself. I'll be completely honest, some of them weirded me out. There were parts where I felt uncomfortable or they were really...
$5 from Junk Drawer Gaming. Live J-Town update. Kathy and Romeo have completed the stairs. Yeah, I want to make like a Discord group chat for everybody living in J-Town because it will just be easier to communicate my vision.
hard to read, and I completely understand why people had mixed reactions when they first saw them. But that's exactly the problem here. People
Stop begging. It's so welcome to streaming, buddy. Welcome. Streaming is literally this is why I don't care. And sometimes we'll actively give money to panhandlers on the street. Okay? Even though some of them might just be faking it, because that is the online equivalent of like what streaming is. Okay? It's literally sitting on a sidewalk being like, except you live in far better conditions than the guy sitting on the sidewalk and have far less need for the money, and say, can I have some money, please, sir?
see the messages without the context, and that context completely changes how they're interpreted. Those messages don't show. They show confusion, manipulation, and a person who was lied to. It's okay to feel uncomfortable when reading them, I did too, but being uncomfortable doesn't make Parlo guilty of anything. What matters is intent and truth, and both prove.
Yeah, most this like autistic online shitter was like negligent and not doing ID verification, but I have not seen any evidence so far that would make it likely that he had immediate reason to believe that the person he was speaking to was lying, right? The guy is not a pedophile. Also, he was very young himself, right? Even though he was legally an adult, that like responsibility is not going to be at its best because he's also young and impulsive himself. He's like 19, right? I'm not sweeping from. I don't really like Parlo, but like I just like to, you know, it's a very big allegation, right? If you're 19 going for a 12-year-old, you're a pedophile, right? So, you know, I will handle it with scrutiny, and it seems like he just was reckless of not checking ID. $5 from G's for the do-rag fund. Thank you so much, but I'm not wearing a do-rag. Appreciate it. I know it's like, haha, funny, a do-rag. But firstly, I don't think it's that funny. Secondly, I have no reason for one. $2 from Scallywag. Poor. So true. $2 from Buckley. Don't spend it all in one place. If you give me money, I will spend it on hookers.
That this entire narrative was built on lies. Now that we've gone through the dupe situation, cleared up the lies behind it, let's talk about how this whole thing escalated into Parlo's wrongful arrest. This next part shows just how far people were willing to go, even to the point of filing false police reports. The person responsible for starting all of this is Natspop, who played a massive role in spreading misinformation and pushing false claims directly to UK authorities.
How does the UK handle lying to law enforcement, by the way? I know like the UK has some like insane like... Dude, I don't know, like, the ins and outs. Listen, the UK is treated like San Francisco is, where there's tons of misinformation about the enforcement of their laws. For example, like, there was this case where, like, and I think Chud and Queeman have both called this out originally, but I was also, before I saw their coverage of it, I was also critical of this claim. People were saying that this, you know, woman was arrested for not saying something critical of migration. That's how they put it. Right? And I went and looked at what she'd put online, and what it looked like, what it was she was attempting to incite people to go and burn down, I think, migrant housing facilities with people inside of them. Like, that's like a call to violence. That's very different than expressing your opinion. You're making a call to violence. I'm sure the same people that were critical of that would shed no tears over somebody who had made a tweet calling for people to do something to Trump, right? And I agree, you should not, like, I agree that also can be prosecuted, but, like, obviously it's not 1984 to police calls to violence. Now, I know there are some individual cases where it does seem like, you know, a violation of the free speech values that we hold so dear. We're not free speech absolutionists in this country. I don't think anywhere is. But, you know, we strive for the most permissible amount of speech within the bounds of also ensuring, like, public safety. I'm not going to be the guy that sits here and, like, runs defense for the UK all the time, by the way. But I just know there's like some blatant exaggeration in regards to the enforcement of laws there. There's also not exaggeration about really stupid shit there. To ban, I'm okay with the United Kingdom not allowing guns. Okay, I'm totally okay with that. But at the same time, to ban any and all tools for legal self-defense or carrying tools with the intent of using them for self-defense is moronic. Okay, women should be, hell, even some men, right? But women should be allowed to carry pepper spray. Okay, when they walking around alone at night. I feel like it's like ridiculous to like allow I think the only thing they allow as like an actual like rape prevention device that you could carry around as a woman is a rape whistle. Which men, Aiden? I guess men that don't feel confident in their, fighting capabilities. Women should carry firearms. Well, then the precedent you would have to set is for them to roll back their gun laws. Um, but I think doing that is just not going to be, at the position they're in right now, is just not going to be a good idea, right? Because don't they have like a fairly low rate of gun crimes? I can't remember the last time I've like heard of. I mean, that's not a good metric for determining the efficacy of their like gun restrictions, but give women pit bulls. So true. I think people always talk about, oh, we need to stop the breeding of pit bulls. I think we need to just like ban dog breeding generally. I'm sure you could, I don't know too much about the dog breeding community, okay? I'm sure you could find some like exceptions, and I understand breeding dogs for occupational like efficacy. Like if a dog is meant to fulfill a certain purpose or like role in a job, I can understand like for working dogs why breeding them might be ideal. But there are literally so many dogs that need to be housed right now that get killed in shelters because nobody will adopt. I like the whole idea of like designing dogs and then selling them for purchase. It just does not like sit right with me unless you're selling it to farmers or the military, law enforcement, people who need protection, or what was the other one? Oh yeah, this is a cool thing. When I was in Italy, not this time I was in Italy, a long time ago, I just like put something on the TV and they have these like specialized dogs that hunt. Any dog could be able to hunt for truffles, but they have a dog that they've like specialized to do that, and the dogs will like sniff out and dig up truffles, and they're like trained to like, you know, not destroy or eat the truffle. It's pretty cool. $5 from G's G's. Pit bulls and their owners need to be banned. Okay, I don't know if we need to ban pit bulls that already exist, but I would just probably stop breeding them like other dogs as well. Dog breeding is important for the preservation of breeds. Well, I only think like some breeds are important to preserve. I only think there are like some breeds of dog that are important to preserve.
Before Parlo was detained, Natspop began publicly boasting on social media about how local authorities were stepping in against
Or, you know what? If it's like a case of, I don't even know if dog breeding, Aiden walking it back. Well, I initially made my statement with a bit of uncertainty. Okay, to be fair, as I said, you could probably debate me out of that position. I'm not like super knowledgeable about dog breeding. But maybe like it could be like not allowing people to like breed occupationally, like run like actual dog breeding like companies or businesses where they sell designer dogs or whatever. But like if like Mrs. Johnson or whatever allows her Maltese to breed with another Maltese and gets Maltese puppies that she gives away or whatever, I don't really take issue with that.
Parlo, and even claimed that multiple police departments were now involved in a case against him. In these posts, Natspop repeatedly called Parlo a massive manipulative liar.
Wait, is the Duckbringer Dickers dating show happening right now? Is that going on right now? $5 from G's G's. By the way, what is all this talk about breeding? Just rewind. You could just rewind. Link it. Link it. Link it. We're watching that shit. Link it. Link it. Link it. Link it. Link it. I was asked to be a participant. Just to be clear about my opinions on Duckbringer, I don't think she's like, I know I've said the opposite in the past. I've been quite angry at her and the way she operates, but I do constant introspection and like challenge myself in my own beliefs. I think everyone does that to some extent. We should just encourage ourselves to do it more. You know, I should be doing it more. I don't necessarily think she's like a bad person. I would not condone like the future use of her for like, I don't know. I'm probably never gonna have her on stream again. I'm probably never gonna have her on stream again unless she does something like exceptionally insane. I'm still gonna upload the VOD that already exists at some point because I think that's good content, and she had entered that of her own accord. But I'm not gonna like parade her around like a fucking clown to be made fun of forever. Virtue signal? No, I'm only saying this because people found her house in my Minecraft server and they were gonna go like burn it down and shit. It's just like, leave her alone, dude. I don't care.
Episode of it, right?
Huh? It's being hosted on Emery?
They kind of are, yeah. Yeah. Okay, like
kidding.
first question is
This is not where it's being hosted, is it? Where is it actually being hosted? Because I can't watch this. I said that twice! Oh, by the way, this is, I actually pulled this up from the inbox. This is really stupid, in my opinion. They're like, David was seen wearing the same wig as Celeste, or whatever. I don't think this is proof of anything, just to be clear. Celeste, sorry.
why was your poop
It's in a VC? On whose server? I thought it was a show! I thought it was a show! What is the point of wait. So it's not a dating show, it's a dating VC. Yeah, why are you doing this then? Well, it's not, so... Is this the official Dickers show? Is this the official, like, show that Dickers was talking about? Hold on, is Dickers in this VC? Somebody send me a fucking invite to this server, okay? Somebody send me an invite to this server. Is Dickers there? Because I don't think this is what we thought it was. It's being hosted. Send me an invite. Let it play and listen.
brown?
Really anything.
You regret saving those lives.
Well, one of them was Jewish.
Were any of them Muslim? That's what my next question was. So
What's
you
your,
at least were questioning my next question.
What's your respiratory?
Were any of them Muslim or Jewish? Okay, I like Duckbringer. I think you should date Vegeta because he's funny. Duckbringer, Vegeta wins the gaming show.
Is this Azure talking right now?
Hey, don't get to ask
Okay,
multiple questions.
okay,
You guys can date if you
Can we
want.
stop the break?
We
Can
had
we
just
get back
one
to the
question.
show? Where does Kathy?
Okay, Dickers, where are you? Continue.
Where am I?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
I'm
I'm
the
here.
only-
Okay.
Okay, I was
How's it going?
keeping. I was keeping
How's
the
it
break.
going?
Yeah, we're not. Don't leave if this is boring, because if it is boring, we're gonna move on from this. Just to be clear.
Welcome.
What I'm gonna ask though is to have one person, if you do want to leave just to watch this, if I move on, please take the liberty to let me know if something interesting happens.
Welcome back, Dicker.
We've
Welcome back to the show.
got all the contestants' answers. We've got all
Got all
the
the
contestants'
contestants'
answers.
answers.
But now,
Part of the show anymore.
I would kindly ask that Aiden participate, otherwise stop streaming Dicker's content. that I'm stealing from? Thank you.
I would kindly. Who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up.
Really?
I'm your fucking godfather, bitch.
Wait, again, Dicker, Aiden, are you gonna replace the contestant that was just kicked out?
I'm not a
Do you wanna be-
contestant. I just want to listen.
Yeah, you're a fucking loser! Ripping out the fucking stream! Get the fuck out! Or participate. Have fun.
Keep
You
him in,
sound,
keep him in.
You sound mad.
No, keep him in. Emery, keep him in.
No, Aiden,
Okay,
you're
next.
automatic. No,
Deckers,
Keep him-
we eliminated
mute him,
C4. C4
you
died.
have a chance to
Muted.
win. Our lovely contestant, Duckbringer.
This sounds so AIDS.
Go ahead, Dickers. Next prompt.
I asked Aiden if he wanted to be part of this, and he said no.
I haven't
What?
talked to Aiden for like half a
Now
month.
he's fucking
since I
low
went
on content, and he wants to be a
vacation.
contestant.
Like, not
Huh?
talking,
Wait,
just
can I
in
actually? I
group
do have a
chat.
question. Can I ask a question? What is the point of doing this if it's not like a stream show?
Because
Because
we're
it's
trying
fucking
to get
point
the
of doing, like,
boyfriend
right
for
here,
Duckbringer.
right
Oh my
now.
Okay, I was
god.
looking.
Can't people just have fucking fun?
I was looking
Oh
for.
my god.
Duckbringer needs a man, and
was-
we're trying to introduce her to a very nice
What
guy.
good is your fucking content if you aren't fucking dancing like a monkey in front of idiots
Isabel
on the
needs a
internet?
girlfriend.
Okay, I was
Duckbringer
just-
needs a boyfriend. Maybe they end up together.
This just
Okay, don't harass Aiden. He's 12. Come
okay.
on, man.
This just
Yeah,
seemed.
don't harass Aiden. He's new to the scene.
It just seemed like the way this idea was being discussed by Dickers made it sound like he was like,
Aiden
doing
only
the-
has content
creating-
online. He's like,
creating
why
some-
does it matter if
Aiden,
we're not
were you
making money,
dancing
bro?
with
This is
a-
about family and friendship, bro.
Good, what?
Listen, okay.
Aiden,
It was
were you
originally going to be
happy
Like, bro, I'm
content,
not making any
I was originally
circles
gonna,
on
like,
this. Why can't I put
organize it
this?
and have like a structure and stuff. But
You know
Captain
what's
says he wants
ruined
it,
it?
like right fucking now. So
No, you know what? No.
We're obviously-
Oh my god.
Because he's getting mad because he was about to announce round two, and then Aiden.
Alright, I'm done with this. This just sound like they couldn't even. Dickers was like posture. He was like, "Do you want to come on?" Parry was arguing with Dickers because Dickers was like, "Yeah, Parry, you're blacklisted from the show." Like, and Dickers was like getting mad at Parry because Parry, he's like, "You're trying to like do the content without me," because Parry had gone. No, Dickers said that because Parry had like gone to Kathy and proposed doing the show without Dickers. He was hyping this up like it was like some serious show, and it's just like some like AIDS VC with like a bunch of fucking like non-tent shitters who are like upset that I'm stealing one from their 6 viewers. Okay, you don't need to cry, Emery. Nobody's watching you to begin with. The 6 people that watch you, if anything, I've given you viewers. These are people from my chat that have now come into yours. Okay, nobody from you've like. You literally, I'm sorry, I don't like to pull the viewer's card here, but if you're gonna like make accusations that I'm stealing something from you, I need to point out that there isn't anything to be stealing from. Alright.
And claimed that no local authorities are on his side, and insisted that Parlo was milking the schlep and pyrocynical drama to distract from his own crimes. These weren't just random tweets, these were calculated lies meant to make people believe that Parlo was facing a legitimate investigation, when in reality, the entire case was based on false.
Also, dude, I love this Azure guy, okay? He always like has some like funny stuff to, not, well, I don't know if he has anything funny to say. He's just like a very upbeat guy, okay? But I had this guy turned down because he literally, I took a linguistic anthropology class, and I was like learning about like how we're like naturally wired to like keep the pacing of a conversation. Like it takes like what, milliseconds for us to like start responding after generally I think after somebody else finishes a sentence or whatever, or I forget what it is. Regardless, this guy will just like, if somebody like has a sentence that they're saying and they're gonna follow it up with another sentence, he jumps in immediately right in between to say something and just keeps talking, or he just like outright interrupts. $2 from Patrick. Ethan Ralph should date Duckbringer. It's perfect. Well, considering I demolished Duckbringer's last relationship, I am hoping that she finds true love somewhere. Soul Skibbity with the 2 and a little pear that's blushing. That's how I feel when I see you, Soul.
False and misleading information. After we confronted him, Natspop's own emails to the police were exposed, and they made it clear that the entire thing was built on lies. In those emails, he provided only 2 screenshots showing Parlo saying he wanted to meet up with Dupe at a hotel. But here's the key detail that he deliberately left out. At the time, Parlo was 19.
Also, by the way, something else I need to say is, and I've said this before, if you're a hypersensitive person, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I know lots of hypersensitive people. But you should now understand. You should have an understanding that you're hypersensitive, and then choose where you're gonna put yourself accordingly, right? And Duckbringer seems like somebody who is hypersensitive that does get very emotional, and it's like, if that's the case, I don't understand why this is like the community you insist on hanging around in, because at some point, and the sympathy already dried up. I had no sympathy for her in her last call-in, but it's like, if that is the case, if you truly do have PTSD from an abusive relationship and like can't get yelled at, etc., this is just not the community to be in as like an active participant. Go do something else.
Years old, and Dupe had told him that he was 17. That's a legal relationship in the UK. The age of consent in the UK is 16, and both Parlo and Dupe were living there, meaning that legally, there was nothing inappropriate about that interaction according to the law.
Yeah, according to okay, well, a better way to put this is, because also the whole UK age of consent thing is cope. Some places have insane ages of consent. It's like
AIDS gang represent, okay?
I don't, and you should not derive your like morality from the law. So just by virtue of something being legal doesn't necessarily make it moral. But in this case, it's also that the age gap that Parlo believed he was partaking in is also socially and morally acceptable, right? 19 and 17 is perfectly socially and morally acceptable. So not only was it not illegal, but it also wasn't immoral based on what he believed at the time, right? But that being said, it actually could, even though Parlo didn't actually know this person's age, and they may have been younger, couldn't there still be, and I'm not saying this like I'm hoping for it, that I would want him prosecuted for this. I think it's dumb unless the police suspect you were willingly ignorant, right, to prosecute somebody over being lied to about the other participant's age. But is like they lied about their age excuse even like applicable in the UK? Do they even buy that? Take care, Luna Lizzie. Speaking of hypersensitive, you're gonna cover fatty blocking dickers? I mean, I guess I could, sure.
But instead of telling the police the full story, Natspop twisted it. He told them that Dupe was at the time, and Parlo knew that he was talking to a 2-year-old, which is a complete fabrication. He intentionally left out messages where Dupe clearly says he's 17 turning 18 soon, messages that completely disprove the entire claim. In other words, Natspop manipulated the police by submitting evidence that was taken completely out of context and by lying about Dupe's real age. He didn't care about truth or justice. He cared about destroying Parlo's reputation, no matter how many lies it took. Now, while the police did open a case based on what he sent, it's crucial to understand that the case itself is built on false pretenses. It's not a case backed by real evidence, it's a case fueled by manipulated screenshots, half-truths, and false.
So I don't know how the law works. Once again, I'm very unfamiliar with the UK legal system. But like I like, is his case like did prosecutors drop the case? If that's how it works over there. Did like prosecutors drop the case upon or is it not a legal case? It's just a police investigation, which is separate from like actually taking it to court or making. Well, I guess apparently they did make an arrest. I'm a little confused.
Statement made by people who have been trying to ruin Parlo for months. And what is truly shocking is that instead of—
Why is Aiden sorry. It takes me a sec to read the instead of saying I'm just if you ever, and by the way, I will almost always see your dono within 10 minutes, but if for whatever reason, if you believe that I've skipped your dono, just say, hey Aiden, I think you might have missed my dono, and I will go back and look for it, okay? Because I do that sometimes. That is a real thing that happens. It's not intentional, but I will I typically try to read people's donations in like clusters. Okay, thank you for the $3. I cannot read the message you put, and you understand why I can't read it. Thank you for the Streamlabs donation. Somebody whose name I can't even read, who gave me $3. You are single-handedly the reason I don't do text-to-speech donos anymore. You've ruined it for everybody, but I cannot read what you put, but I appreciate the $3.
fact-checking the claims or verifying the evidence first, UK authorities acted on this misinformation. That's what ultimately led to Parlo's wrongful detainment on September 11th. When we confront
By the letter of the law, someone lying about their age doesn't actually negate the fact that you broke the law. It's just that's what's called like an affirmative defense, right? That's an affirmative defense where, yes, I did the thing you're accusing me of, but there's some mitigating context that makes it, not like, for example, what an insanity plea would be an affirmative defense. A passion provocation defense would be an affirmative defense.
Naspop about the police report, it became very clear that he didn't just make a mistake that most people would make, he knowingly withheld key information from...
Well, he didn't just withhold information, he outright lied, right? He had no basis to believe that Parlo... He doesn't just objectively say this happened, right? And omit something from it. He also outright says he knew the person's age, which no evidence has suggested to be true. So he didn't just withhold information, he outright stated a falsehood. Now, I don't know if a charge exists in regards to lying to law enforcement when filing some sort of investigation, or if if that charge hinges on whether you outright told a lie or omitted something in the course of filing. There probably is some law on that, but yeah.
Law enforcement.
So they were like, okay, we're going to transfer you to another department, and they went to police, right? So I went to police, and I told them same story that I gave to a COP. They were like, okay. They brought me to a detective named whatsoever. So he was the one who was taking care of the situation. He gave me questions like, do you know Parlo and Duve online in person? So those common questions that they asked before they started the whole thing. So I gave him all the answers they could. Just okay, we're gonna investigate. I gave him the document. I said he sent in. That's what I did in my standard response to this. So he was like, okay, we're gonna investigate into it and stuff. And that's where they were like, okay, well, we're going to transfer you to with someone else. A month later or two, I don't know. The police contacted me. Out of the blue, they contacted me. I did not contact them. I don't know why they contacted me. They probably did what do they call this, subpoena or something like that? I don't know. Probably. Yeah, probably not, but probably I don't even know what happened because they told me, they mentioned to me that they cannot share the full thing that's happening.
Okay, so it also sounds like this guy might be Canadian or American, not British. So even if he did submit false info, I don't know if they could even act on charging him if that were the case, right? But I think we're done with this. We have the gist of this all. I do want to hear how the arrest went really quick, and then we're gonna move on to RoseMulet content. Okay.
Get 2 community guideline strikes, which kind of happened at the worst time possible. A privated video of Parlo's got a community guideline strike completely out of nowhere, and this happened on September 10th.
By the way, if you guys are here, type in chat. Fill the fucking chat. Make me feel like I'm talking to myself. I am talking to myself. I'm schizophrenic. There actually is no chat. There's no streams. I've just been in a 1-year-long psychotic episode. If you're here, say something in chat. If you're here, say something in chat. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do that, but thank you for the suggestion.
Now, because of this strike, Parlo and I stayed on the phone during the day while we were trying to appeal that strike, and usually it's actually why we censor ourselves so much in our videos, because YouTube's guidelines are not very fun to deal with. Anyways, after all that happened, still on September 10th at 7:04 p.m. my time, and Parlo's 5 hours ahead of me.
Why do you vape, Aiden? Because I made the stupid decision of consuming nicotine once and have been addicted to it, because nicotine is a very addictive substance.
Which was actually 12 in the morning for him. I was told by Parlo that his family members had been swatted. Now, at the time, we had no idea what was going on. It was September 11th, 12 in the morning for him, and randomly, 8 bomb vans pulled up to one of Parlo's family members' homes asking for Parlo. This obviously...
This is what I always imagine, is swatting a big fear? Okay, first of all, it's obviously an inconvenience to have the police show up. Okay? It's obviously an inconvenience to have the police show up over a false claim, right? And it doesn't make it justified just because they live in another country. But I think this is how I think swatting seems to be the most harmful to my knowledge in the United States, because I've seen examples of swatting from the United Kingdom and Ireland, and it looks like the police just like politely knock on your door. Like they call it swatting because in America, many times in like the early days of streaming, you would have actual SWAT teams. There would be no knock. Like your door would be like they'd break into your fucking house and like point like rifles at you. And in some cases, I think at least one that I know of, people tragically died as a result. But if they believe there's a bomb in the house, why are they like knocking on the door asking for someone?
Freaked out Parlo's family because they had no idea what was going on. So September 10th went from being a very upsetting day for Parlo because of the
Hey, we just want to talk to the guy we believes has like a primed and loaded bomb in the house.
community guideline strike to being a genuine concern for his family's safety because he randomly thought he got swatted. But it was actually much, much worse than that. At September 11th at 2 in the morning, Parlo and I got another call trying to appeal a strike while talking about what happened earlier in the day. Now, during that call, when we were trying to file that appeal to YouTube, something absolutely insane happened. While writing the appeal, out of nowhere, Parlo looked outside of his window and he saw a bunch of red and blue flashing lights. There were tons of police cars outside of his house with many vans, many cars, and many officers with full-on tactical gear and rifles. At that point, Parlo went on.
Why is the word assault not allowed to be said on YouTube? Like, this is ridiculous, dude. Like, we need like a Nuremberg trial for social media companies over like, I'm not like the right wing Facebook censored, you know, me telling all my relatives to not take like life-saving measures to save their life medically. No, like the whole like need to like censor like bad words or words on like serious subjects to the point where you actually have people as a regular part of their lexicon, like, you know, saying shit like grape and pew pew. Okay? There's actually at least 100 plus related fatalities related to swatting in the U.S. I would love to read more on that. That doesn't sound right. Is there? That would be crazy if true, but that doesn't sound right. Maybe if they're using a different definition of swatting. I don't think that's true, to be honest.
On mute, he came back and he told me that he had to leave the call because the police were telling him to get off the phone and shut off all of his devices. And then the call ended. I just sat there completely stunned because I had no clue what was going on or what just happened. Later on, I found out from one of Parlo's close friends that he was actually detained and kept in a holding cell for around 12 hours until the following morning. He was forced to sleep in a police cell because of a false report. Now, to be clear here, Parlo hasn't told me much about the investigation itself. He legally can't. Usually, in cases like this, police confiscate your devices as part of the investigation. Sometimes there's even a bail condition where you're not allowed to contact anyone under the age of 18. I can't confirm if that's what happened here, but
Wait, how old is this guy?
and how these cases usually work, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's what he's dealing with right now. Parlo's life was completely turned upside down because of this, all because of one person, Natspop, filing a false and misleading police report that twisted the truth. That one lie led to a full-on police operation and a wrongful detainment. Now, weeks after this happened, and earlier we spoke about this, Parlo and I confronted Natspop directly, something we already talked about earlier in the video like I just said. During that confrontation, Natspop admitted everything. He admitted that he was the one who filed the report, he admitted that he left.
Also, you have a bunch of like children interpreting the fucking law and they have no clue what they're talking about. The fact Diddy ran away but Parlo got falsely arrested is just crazy. Well, Diddy did get arrested and actually went to trial. And yeah, the trials don't always work. You don't always get the ideal results that you're looking for due to the technicalities of the law. The technicalities, by the way, that are meant so that people don't falsely go to prison, right? That's why we have, you know, strict standards at trials. That's obviously completely different. I also agree Diddy should probably, you know, be in prison, but it actually makes sense in his case specifically how he managed to get off. That's not by virtue of him being innocent. So if he admitted it was a false police report, Why not submit? Has he admitted it's false? Did they just say that?
Left out crucial evidence showing that Dupe lied about his age, and he even acknowledged that doing.
I mean, also, like, it seems like it's not disputed that he was engaged in inappropriate communications with a 12-year-old. What is disputed is whether or not he knew the age. And in the UK, they might still totally be able to go to trial with that info, and he would use that as an affirmative defense. Anyways, that's that. Now we're gonna cover RoseMulet, okay? RoseMulet is one of the biggest attention seekers online, has a long history of attention seeking. Originally, RoseMulet's preferred way of getting attention was to take absurdly provocative positions and argue for them, because even negative attention at that point in time, you know, did it. That sufficed. The problem is, right, RoseMulet is claiming in hindsight, now that they're trying to appeal to a more mainstream audience, that the actual original defense was like a result of like them being groomed at one point in their life, which I don't believe at all, right? To the extent and length that the defenses that they provide, it doesn't even seem like they've shed some of their controversial views on rape, right? But to the extent that it went on for, et cetera, and the fact that this mitigating factor only recently was introduced, to me, I just do not buy it. But anyway, RoseMulet came back and tried to, somehow met BradTaste and tried to weasel themselves into BradTaste's social circle by viciously, becoming in charge of, like, advising him, going after people she felt had wronged him, being actually just downright possessive over the guy for what was, in my opinion, ensuring her own, self-advancement. Now, when the tables had turned and a recording had definitively come out about BradTaste, despite RoseMulet originally providing defenses for the abuse allegations, RoseMulet had shifted opinion and tried to go against Brad. But RoseMulet can't really figure out fully if she wants to get attention by being a Brad detractor or still defending him. At one point in time when this had originally happened, RoseMulet released a video where she's now going against him, and her excuse for her excuse for why she's now turned on him was horrible. Definitive recordings came out that made him look like an abuser, and she's like, oh, well, I was talking, hold on, I need to rewatch this video.
And he responds with, yeah, I took down the video. I don't need her getting lawyers and airing dirty laundry. The good news is that I can hide for a bit longer, hopefully. And again, I'm stupid for not realizing how sketchy this looked. Now, Brad told me
all of these are excuses meant to conceal the fact that RoseMulet was going to be on Brad's side until being his, like, #1 defender, for totally selfish reasons, by the way, until she realized that she could not defend him any longer in the eyes of the public when these recordings came out.
that he recorded a suicide note video.
I think I'd rather just end it right now. Yeah. So I said it out loud. I recorded a 20-minute suicide note.
So me and a couple other friends have been talking to him for like hours pretty much every day, trying to convince him not to kill himself. I basically told him, look, just record a short video apologizing for that video and then leave the internet entirely for a full year.
I just wanted to give him emotional support, and quite frankly, I just wanted to make sure that the dude didn't kill himself. That was my main priority. Now, throughout our calls,
So she's saying that when the abuse allegations surfaced, the reason she was initially on his side was because she was in fear of his life, and not because she still believed she could, like, benefit from defending him. She's a weasel. She's a parasite, okay? Her DMs to Brad don't indicate somebody who dislikes him now but is trying to stop him from ending his life. It indicates somebody who was genuinely on his side, and under their plan in their mind, it was to still defend him. And they realized they had to shift because Brad was now indefensible. So Rose now disingenuously tries to come out as a member of Brad's opposition. Now, I wish that I remembered the exact nuances of this situation. I don't, but I remember I'd called this video out and watched it at the time, and I'd made a pretty good argument for why her shift was completely disingenuous and solely motivated by self-benefit. But I guess today, oh my God, what the fuck? I guess Rose has a new video. The return of BradTaste in music.
Something behind his back, which turned out to be inevitably insanely fucking true, by the way, and you are going to crash. If Ethan Klein were to ask her a fucking question, she would bend over so fucking fast. Like, to answer it and throw me in the...
Also, by the way, I do need to bring this up. Even though Brad is like an abuser, I'm not using this as a factor of mitigation. The actions were incredibly harmful for that one. I'm sure a lot of domestic abusers would qualify for some kind of mental illness, but Brad is genuinely somebody who is totally delusional and mentally unwell. And that doesn't mean he's not responsible and didn't know what he was doing. He did, right? But it does, to some extent, change the way I'm going to handle conversations about him. He is somebody that needs long-term consistent mental health care. And I do think, to some extent, RoseMulet is, like, exploiting him, despite she herself also being mentally, I think she's exploiting him.
Garbage. Because she will literally burn me to the ground and stab me in the throat and like put a fucking metal stake through my heart before she...
Leaked by RoseMulet. This is all purely for attention.
She has to ever admit that she possibly did something wrong.
What you just watched was part of a...
What is that? Oh my, why? Do not do face cam like this. I'm sorry. Do not do face cam like this. In previous photos I've seen, it's like, okay, you know, you're not a good-looking individual, but you're not completely hideous, okay? Or no, you were completely hideous, but not completely hideous to the extent where it was like, if I saw you in public, I was gonna look away. But now you, like, have actually gotten to that point.
23-minute long unreleased video by BradTaste in Music, where he exhibits some of the most manipulative, disgusting behavior imaginable. BradTaste,
like when you turn the chair, you could see your whole like body bouncing.
Music is living proof that no matter how bad your situation may appear, you can always sink lower. Now, after I released my last video, I fully expected that he would never want to speak to me again.
I'm gonna call out RoseMulet. RoseMulet leaked my freestyle.
So imagine my shock when I see him in my DMs. Now, Brad's manipulation tactics are pretty apparent to...
He's the manipulative one. He's the manipulative one. No, he's not. The thing about Brad is, he's like, maybe at one point you could say he's being manipulative, but in the course of like when he's being exposed and everything, if anything, he's doing a horrible job for his self, not even in a manipulative way. He's just like being like honest to a level that, if I remember correctly, that makes him look way worse, right? The way he was describing it, like, I yelled at her because I thought she was crying and it was getting in the way of my work. He's explaining his deluded fucking thought process, in all honesty. Brad does not seem like a good manipulator in any meaningful way. And that's not a defense of him, just to be clear. That's just it's a defense in this case specifically, because I don't think he's manipulating Rose. I think he has a complicated relationship with her, where she positioned herself in his life as somebody he could confide in, because he is probably somebody that feels like everyone's against him and always wants one person on his team. So Rose shifted to be that person accordingly. And, you know, Brad venting to her was probably some kind of catharsis for him. And Rose presented herself as a loyalist that was totally on his side while having selfish motivations. But Rose is the manipulative one here. Rose was on his side until she couldn't publicly defend him because irrefutable recordings came out. Rose acted or pretended like she had actually shipped much earlier. But if I remember correctly, a day prior, she was like still actively providing defenses for him on Twitter. And in the DMs, you can see her being supportive of him. But she claims it wasn't actually because she was on his side. She was just scared he was going to kill himself. Like, that's manipulative.
Anyone with ears.
I made videos on Melanie Martinez and basically continued making them even when the victim of abuse was clearly wanting me to stop because I was riding the high.
But even for him...
Is this... Thank you, Orpheus, for the $2. Is this Papa Gut's wife? Did I read that yet? I might have just read that. I have horrible short-term memory. Not that I'm aware of. But whoever Papa Gut's wife actually is gonna look like a supermodel in comparison to this. Like, I have a natural, despite disliking people heavily, and make no mistake, I don't like Rose, obviously. I also sympathize with people who are living an existence like this, because it's incredibly depressing. Okay? This is like, this person probably does not leave the house, obviously. They has no meaningful relationships or friendships, no real prospects in life. Like, I just, like, the human side of me feels kind of bad that, like, somebody is this pathetic. And, like, you know, despite thinking RoseMulet is a manipulative attention seeker, I still, you know, change your life, okay? Change your life. Not because I said so, not because anyone has urged you to. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. Get off the internet and change your life. I mean, what is in the... You literally have a party-size bag of chips in the background. By the way, if you're trying to lose weight, eating directly from a bag of chips is the worst fucking thing you can do. Because there's such a large quantity of them, and if you're just eating directly from the bag, you can't be measuring portions, like, adequately, and you just will overeat. By the way, like, chips, like, they're gonna be, what, empty calories and shit, but also, you're just gonna completely overeat. If you're trying to lose weight, don't eat chips at all. I think not eating, like, unhealthy food at all is horrible, is not, like, the greatest advice for weight loss, to be honest. Like, when I lost weight, I was never this big, to be clear, but when I lost weight, I never stopped eating the things. I never stopped eating the things that I liked. I just was eating less of it, and also trying to fill it with more meaningful calories. I still would eat, you know, I don't know, like cookies and shit, but, like, I would eat it, you know, like, I would eat, like, less and, like, after dinner, right? And and I also was working out more, but, like, the thing is, right, you don't need to torture yourself to lose. I'm not saying it's torture to not eat cookies, but, like, it's, if somebody who's eating junk food all day, it's going to be unrealistic to just completely remove all indulgence. Right? It's understand how to count calories, make sure you're filling those calories with, like, you know, all your macro micronutrients, and getting an adequate amount of exercise. If you're meeting that, like, you can absolutely have, like, dessert and stuff. If you work, unless you work out, do not eat. Oh yeah, and also, yeah, you don't eat junk late at night. Like, what I do now is, if I want to indulge or whatever, I try not to, or I don't really keep, like, unhealthy stuff in my apartment. What will happen is, if it's like a occasion where, like, I'm out, or, like, I might get, like, an ice cream cone or something, or, like, I'll, like, if I go out, I'll, like, go, like, sit down and get, like, dessert somewhere. You literally eat pizza every day. Okay, well, pizza's not empty calories. It's not good for you, but it's certainly not empty calories. You know, it has a ton of carbohydrates. It does spike your blood sugar. It is unhealthy, but you still do get your protein. You still do get your protein needs. You get some of your micronutrients. You get a lot of carbs, and if you're eating pizza, but that's like still remaining within your caloric threshold, I think that can be fine. In terms of like weight gain, I think that can be fine. Now, whether or not you're of adequate health, I don't know if that's going to be a good idea.
This is just a new low. He believes that his ex, Tina, ruined his life.
I'm just gonna say there's a lot of fucking things I want to say about my ex. I actually have some things that would explain a lot. That would make you go, oh, thank you to the people who...
Also, tomato sauce is the only way I get fruit. And I don't even know if it really meaningfully is a fruit. I know it is a fruit, but like meaningfully so. Because I have zero fruit in my diet. I there's a lot of vegetables, but I don't eat... Or I have a lot of vegetables that I will eat. I don't eat enough vegetables, but I don't eat any fruit, like, at all. I have no fruit in my diet. I don't think fruit is, like, actually even, like, super necessary, but it is always good to eat for, like, fiber and stuff. I can't stand shit with seeds in it. I just can't. It's probably because I grew up with like oral food allergy syndrome, and I would have like mild allergic reactions if I was eating like raw fruit, and shit with seeds in it. But
like see me screaming at her like a fucking madman, and who actually ask questions, because no, that's not justifiable behavior. It's horrible. But I was also like a mentally ill child that she found.
He really can't help but to victimize himself in the situation.
It's crazy. Like the information that has gone online because I fucked up.
Your brain runs on sugar. Your brain runs on glucose, which is I think one of the three. I think there's glucose, fructose, lactose, galactose. Right? Actually, I think there's like 4 sugars. But your brain converts carbohydrates into glucose for energy, right? So even if like when they say you need sugar for your brain, that doesn't mean you need to be eating sugary foods, because unless you're even meat, you even can get glucose from consumption of meat. Okay, so unless you're like eating ice cubes, the whole getting sugar to your brain part isn't really going to be a big worry.
I did something really bad, and so it's now okay for everyone to do stuff that's worse.
Yeah, abusing my ex was bad, but you guys calling me out? That's even worse.
He's actually trying to claim that Tina groomed him, and he says it in the most unconvincing way possible that you can even tell that he...
I think you groomed him. I don't think Tina... I actually do think he abused Tina. But I think you groomed him.
Doesn't even believe it.
She looks at me and she's like, you know, you could technically look at this situation that happened as...
And also, when was this sent to Rose?
Grooming. You could see it that way, and I'd be like, no, that's not what's...
This was recent, right?
It's happening, because I love you so much. Like, there's no way I don't feel groomed because I love you so much, so it can't possibly be that.
Like, Brad was an adult when the relationship started.
By the way, folks, because of your generosity, I have to reset goal. We basically hit temp goal. I'll just say we hit it. We're over a quarter of the way to Streamly goals. So if you guys want to support the streams, as always, you can donate through Super Chats, button in the description, Streamlabs, link below. Send me a funny little message or emoji, like a pear. Or, another great way to help is to like. There's over 130 of you watching, only 50 likes. Like up if you're new here. I know we got rated by Dickers earlier. Subscribe. That's another great... Someone said, oh, I had to subscribe to comment this. I know there's a lot of you, because I do the same thing. You're watching and you don't subscribe. But if you subscribe, it's also huge help. If you watch me regularly. Don't subscribe and then never watch me.
Brad then proceeds to talk about her past relationships.
She was like, I'm gonna fix you, just like she tried to do with her last boyfriends. That's right. I'm bringing back more information. Right? She literally looked at me and she was like a dog trainer trying to fix me for years instead of viewing me like...
That's not what grooming is. Grooming would be if they're presenting themselves in that way to like get you off your guard so they could go, you know, get you to... Like, typically when we're talking about, get you, like, to be more susceptible to something, right? That would be a tactic employed by groomers to present themselves as some kind of savior or like, a good person. But no, you are somebody who genuinely struggles, and, like, your partner should want to see you succeed in life. So it's actually not, like... It's actually probably even effective for somebody who's struggling to... unless it's, like, you're going to drag them down with you, like, to have... a partner that's like locked in and wants to help you succeed and will keep you in check, that's actually ideal. That's ideal. It's actually great. If you're like struggling and have bad habits and you have like a girlfriend that's like, I mean, you shouldn't make her like fucking take all responsibility over your life and drag her down. But like if she comes and says like, you know, I want to help you, in the course of her being your girlfriend, that's just like an added benefit.
A person, instead of viewing me like an equal, like a friend, like a human being, it was either I'm lesser than her or like I'm a threat because I have more like of a voice than her.
She's trying to fix you.
He's also like hyper paranoid too. This is delusional Brad speaking. I don't think he's lying about how he views this. I don't think this is some concerted attempt at manipulation. I genuinely believe Brad believes everything he says. In this case, I absolutely believe that. In his like delusional worldview, she's like this ultra malicious, methodical person, and everything she does is to spite him. Like when she was crying, he believed her crying was a problem because it was sabotaging what he was doing, right? Her honest, good faith attempts at wanting to see him improve, he viewed that as like a malicious grooming attempt and like a statement that I think I'm better than you, which that. To somebody who was non-paranoid and had like a normal mind, they would not reason that would be what was being said or implied.
Because you're a shitty person. Like, in what world do you think that you saying that makes you look like the victim? Like, you're crazy for that.
She was like, no, hold on, let me just like destroy your fucking life and whatever's left of it. And then I was like, right there, I was like, I took the blame for all of it. I was like, this is it, I'm damned. This is my fault. I'm just gonna kill myself.
Brad also makes a big claim that Tina was the one that got him onto drugs in the first place.
Should I throw her under the bridge for like being the one to get me on drugs? Yeah, I think so.
That's
I think it's worth it.
That's not a big claim. She probably smoked weed with him, not thinking it's a big deal because most people are not gonna like get addicted to smoking weed or whatever the fuck, right? Also, weed is not physically addictive, so it's not like she like had him try opiates, right? She probably smoked weed with him, and that's not like somebody hooking you on drugs because they smoked weed with you, right? She probably had no, like, that is a believable claim, just to be clear, and that is probably how he views it, that she could, because he later ended up using weed as a crutch and was dependent on it, he views her as like essentially being the person that introduced him to heroin. Because he interprets everything she does in the most like bad faith, malicious light possible, which was a big contributor to his abuse. But yeah, it's like, it is actually kind of believable that maybe she like smoked weed with him. That's like a normal thing to do. I don't like Brad, but I don't interpret this as like conceited attempts at manipulation. I think this is his actual worldview. I think he is actually this egocentric. I think he is actually this paranoid. I completely believe that. It lines up with everything else we know about him. Because a lot of the stuff he said about how he viewed it, like typically if you're gonna lie, lie about allegations against you, you're gonna lie to benefit yourself. He will say things that look horrible for him, right? That serve no defensive mechanism. And the reason he would be outright stating it wouldn't make, if he was just doing it manipulatively, it wouldn't make sense even under the most selfish of motivations. The explanation that makes the most sense is that this guy is deluded, paranoid, and egocentric and genuinely believes that saying something like that would go over well with people. I think he actually views himself as the victim. I think that he literally views himself as the victim. I don't think he's trying to lie to make himself seem like the victim. He's not the victim, but I think that's how he sees himself.
Never wanted to touch drugs in my fucking life. I made that so unbelievably clear to her. I was a kid. She fucking like, she promised me the goddamn world.
And obviously this is something I can't confirm or deny, but just in general, like the way he talks about people is so negative. Like for instance, ARTV and the general music community.
ARTV. He is somebody who is a fucking loose cannon My God, he has like done so much stupid shit.
Brad also goes on a complete psycho rant about a friend.
I have this friend, and he knows everything that's happened, you know, between me and her. When it's private information, he sends everybody to come and help. As soon as like everything I'm talking about is public, he literally like turns every single one of his friends against me. And it happened because like I said something behind his back, which turned out to be inevitably insanely.
Yeah, and I think that's disingenuous. And actually, I could believe that as well, right? I think that's disingenuous. Brad is a bad person, and you should cut him off with the knowledge that he's a bad person. You shouldn't cut him off now because everyone else knows he's a bad person and you can't defend him. If you were a genuine human being, you would have cut him off when you knew about this stuff, not when it became public. And that's the type of person that RoseMulet is, okay? RoseMulet did not cut off Brad because of some sort of moral, you know, having moral qualms with what occurred. It happened because she couldn't run PR for him anymore.
Fucking true, by the way, and you are going to crash. Sorry for some boogeyman shit.
And based on what I know, I strongly suspect this to be about Space Ashes. I have proof that the two are still in contact.
He's fucking talking about me nonstop behind my back. These people are not friends. These people will never be my friends. These people are not capable of being my friends. All right, these people are horrible people.
Now I'm gonna link the full video in the description, but the last thing I want to cover is his response to the freestyle.
And god damn that freestyle. Wow, that really became the subject of a lot of things. You know, I was so tapped in when I made that. That was like one of the most honest and raw things I've done emotionally.
This guy is mentally unwell. I don't know how many times I need to say that. Like, it's exemplified by that freestyle. This doesn't look like somebody that's faking it. I'm sorry. This guy is genuinely delusional.
In my entire life, like finally just like letting all of my grievances out and like exaggerating them beyond belief. But then it's like the interpretation of that was also the least charitable thing imaginable. But like also at the same time, I'm starting to learn that like you can't fucking fix the way that these people work online.
Wait, so you're telling me that they're the ones that need to be fixed for being rightfully horrified by that shit? Not you for making that horrific freestyle?
Right now, Brad is desperately trying to—
Notice how this is the person that posed herself as the empath, worried about his mental health. Rose used that as like a tactic to try to avoid the appearance of being shifty, right? Hey, the only reason I was being secretly supportive to him at this time was because I was worried about him, not because I liked him or agreed with him or whatever. But then is like totally willing to start like publicly like making fun. And I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that. I just think it's contradictory to who Rose claims to be. We'll sit there and start publicly like mocking like the like cringe shit he was uploading in the midst of a clear like some kind of delusional episode.
Weasel his way back onto YouTube. And when that happens, you need to make sure that he does not get away with it. You know, Brad even sent me one day this Twitter post he was gonna make that was just no context. These 4 really creepy pictures. Brad has a deep fear of being recognized in public. He changed his hair. He started to wear makeup. He looks completely different now. Brad has also tried to start a career in film, and you know, I wouldn't say that it's going particularly well.
Jesus. You know what? Like, what do you need to say about this guy? He is so mentally unwell. He's like some kind of manic. I don't know. He's going through some kind of delusional fucking episode. I honestly would not be surprised if this ends up with him like Lil Nas X naked walking through the street. Okay? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens here. But like, to leak this kind of stuff, you can't claim to be the empath that, like, cares about, like, his well-being, okay? That's absurd. That's absurd. It's Schrodinger's empath, okay? It's Schrodinger's empath. You're the empath that's really worried when it can, like, benefit your image, but when it doesn't, and you have more to gain by being, like, the detractor, now all of a sudden, you'll take that role. It's so fucking weaselly. It's so weaselly. You're just as bad as he is. You're just as bad as he is.
How about you clean up a fucking mess for once?
The same could be said about his rapping career.
I fucked her so good that I made her disabled. I grew up in a box. Pussy, bitch. You work for the feds. The way that I...
Okay, that line was kind of fire.
I be rapping, man, they looking for dreads.
Anyway, one more thing I want to talk about. Yesterday, somebody that knew Brad really closely, released a video talking about his experiences, and he provides a lot.
Like, what is the empath part of what Rose is doing? Okay, she can't lie and say that she's doing this because it somehow lends credence to Tina's allegations. It doesn't. This is just embarrassing material, right? She can't play the empath part, right? Because she's just publicly humiliating this mentally unwell guy who is engaging in, like, this is clearly the result of some sort of delusion he has about, how great he is right now. Someone who's in the state Brad's in, and there are several, right? You've probably met some in your life. He believes that, like, he has some clear path or idea. He's gonna be the best to ever do it. Fucking, because he's like manic to some extent. I don't know. It might be more than mania. I don't know. But there is like, this guy is like totally unwell.
Lot of proof. Because Brad even made a video about him once.
Not dead. I didn't kill him, okay?
What the fuck?
There's no...
Now in this video, he alleges that Brad did not pay a woman who designed t-shirts for him.
What really did it for me, and I think did it for everybody, was he was selling t-shirts. We knew the designer, and she came out and said, I have not been paid for any of this. The artist didn't get any of the money.
So this is from years ago. It's from years ago. You knew about this in the course of being Brad's public #1 defender. Why are you pretending like you care now? Rose is just throwing anything in there because Rose wants attention from being a Brad detractor, now that there's nothing to gain in being Brad's fucking publicist.
And worst of all, Brad had a problem exchanging nudes with lots of women. And this guy, who was 14 years old at the time, talks about how one time he was on a call with Brad and this girl, and they were flirting and exchanging nudes while this 14-year-old was in the call.
One of my friends sent him nudes, and one of the times I was in the call, it was just me and both of them.
Also, what are these DMs that Rose had just shown?
Not dead. I didn't kill him, okay?
What the fuck?
There's no...
Now in this video, he alleges that Brad did not pay a woman who designed t-shirts for him.
What really did it for me, and I think did it for everybody, was he was selling t-shirts. We knew the designer, and she came out and said, I have not been paid for any...
But she didn't get that shit. The designer. So this is him talking to a bunch of other people in 2018. We don't know who any of these other... This is like the only piece of evidence we've been presented. And it's not evidence of anything. We don't even know if he's talking about Brad here. This is literally like the equivalent of like when Tucker Carlson I've talked about this a million times because it's just like such a funny fucking, like, I can't believe this is the reality we live in. Tucker Carlson did an exclusive interview with a guy who says that in 1999, while he was admittedly high on crack, he had gay sex with Barack Obama. Is there proof the guy met Obama? No. Is there evidence Obama was even in the same location as him at the time? No. It is literally a crackhead saying that he had gay sex with Obama, and that's who we're gonna like source to get some like dig on Barack Obama. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Brad had a problem exchanging nudes with lots of women. And this guy, who was 14 years old at the time, talks about how one time he was on a call with Brad and this girl, and they were flirting and exchanging nudes while this 14-year-old was in the call.
One of my friends...
This is such a disgusting like, I say this, I have empathy. That's why, like, RoseMulet's like made threats for, about her own life, etc. And it's like, I was kind of like, sympathetic at one point, but it's like RoseMulet is at this given point in time much more aware than Brad is, and this is like such a disgusting manipulative individual. Okay, their exterior matches the interior. This is a disgusting human being, both inside and out. I feel like you're sweeping for this guy just to spite. Rose has not done anything to me. I have no biases that would lead me to want to have any reason. There's nobody I'm sweeping for here. I think Brad was a domestic abuser. But if you're going to sit here and argue that my, like, analysis of his behavior is untrue, feel free to call in and argue. But this guy is straight up delusional, and I don't know if who's going to reasonably contest that. I don't even know if Tina's going to contest that, to be clear.
Friends sent him nudes, and one of the times I was in the call, it was just me and both of them, and they were flirting and sending nudes to each other, while a little 14-year-old me over here is just like...
Privately, he's not Capoxa. Huh? We don't even know if he's talking about Brad right now.
Each other, while a little 14-year-old me over here is just like...
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
You know, when Ken...
So Rose is implying he's like some kind of pedophile now. I'm so concerned about it. What led you to come out about this now? Like, it's clear Rose wants the scoop on something. Rose wants a video on Brad to get the attention from being a detractor. So found any embarrassing thing that he's ever sent her. There's no revelations here about the allegations, including embarrassing moments to humiliate him with, and then digging up some, like, random fucking video from 2018 that doesn't present proof of anything. We don't even know if he's talking about Brad. Time out me if you want. Well, you're gonna call in?
Kendrick Lamar dropped Not Like Us, Drake was already over. But that cemented the deal. I want this video to have the same effect. When Brad returns, he is going to sit here and talk about how he's a changed man, and how he's improved so much, when he continues to exhibit the same exact toxic, manipulative traits that got him into these situations in the first place. Honestly, I've been trying to warn people about this man since 2017.
Brad told me that Graydon from Hive Mind is a chronic cheater and everyone...
Wait, what?
To exhibit the same exchange to have the same effect. Drake was already over, but that cemented the deal. I want this video to have the same effect. Drake
14-year-old me.
But that cemented the deal. I want this video to have the same effect. When Brad returns, he is going to sit here and talk about how he's a changed man, and how he's improved so much, when he continues to exhibit the same exact toxic, manipulative traits that got him into these situations in the first place. Honestly,
Rose has, in this video, by the way, Rose has not presented evidence of him doing anything manipulative as of right now. There have been no new revelations given to us by this video.
I've been trying to warn people about this man since 2017.
Brad told me that Graydon from Hive Mind is a chronic cheater and everyone at Hive Mind knows this. And
Is she saying she was trying to warn people about Brad since 2017, or this guy?
behind the scenes, they're panicking about it. Basically, he's the next Ned Fulmer.
Kind of explain that I really want to cheat on my wife with you, specifically.
He and his ex had a nasty breakup, and it certainly doesn't help their case that after the fact, they deleted every single video that she appeared in.
And I swear to God, if I fucking put this out, like, I know for a fact that she's going to bring up even worse shit. She takes no blame for a single thing that happened in our entire fucking relationship. Everyone loves to talk about how I spend my money and all the negative, horrible fucking...
Wait, what does this have to do with the fucking Hive Mind cheater?
people I was around all the time?
What? Why did you even include that? It's just like adding like totally unnecessary padding. Starting now, all unproductive comments will not be approved. Intelligent, she spells intelligence wrong, and well thought out disagreements, which are made with the intent to be constructive and remain respectful, are more than welcome. But insults and attacks of character will not be tolerated. I'm doing this because if I didn't, I would just be spam with comments calling me fat, and those people aren't worth my time. I'll be showcasing some examples of unapproved comments so people can better understand what I'm talking about. If you disagree with my decision, my decison, you can message me on Discord or Twitter. I'm more than open to have a conversation if you prove that you can handle a conversation with respect. To give everyone a fresh start and ensure that everyone is being judged by the same standards, I decided to remove all of the comments here. I apologize if you previously commented. Feel free to post a new comment, and if it follows the guideline, it will be approved. How many dislikes does this have? I want to know how many fucking morons are like actually falling for this. This person is like a fucking human parasite. Only 8 that's crazy, bro. So apparently there's more to this though. More to this person's... Honestly, you want to call somebody shifty. Rose is shifty. Okay, Rose is shifty in the worst sense of the word. Right? To the point where, you know, she'll pretend to be a loyalist working in somebody's best interests until it no longer benefits her. Then she'll become an absolute detractor to get further attention. But I guess this argument continued on Twitter. Or something. I guess, I don't know if somebody linked it. I'll check that out. By the way, folks, speaking of leeching, daily plug, donate through the Streamlabs button in the chat. Streamlabs link down below. Also, like up, subscribe, join the Discord, join the Twitter community, and clip like hell, and join our Minecraft server. Am I missing something? Did nobody link? Did nobody link the fucking RoseMulet shit? Okay, I guess RoseMulet didn't put anything on Twitter. Okay. She went on Gamma's stream? No, she didn't. It would be in my inbox if she did. Oh, wait, that might be in my inbox. Hold on, I missed it. No, that is in my inbox. Sorry.
Hold on.
I'm sorry for making you watch Gamma, by the way.
Hey, I was talking to...
I'm sorry, why is this guy watching a video called Best Car Crashes? Dude, with riveting content like this, how is this guy's channel not blowing up?
Kyle King house.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I got moved over here. You're gonna... Okay. Oh, that is not me.
Kathy.
Wait.
That's my
What the fuck?
that's my PR agent, Kosher Kathy. She has an impersonation fetish. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to kind of like put up with it for a moment. So what's the situation?
Listen, you know, I am giving my time to you and you don't deserve it. So if you're gonna fuck around with me, then I'll leave.
Okay. Why do you think that motivates me to like take this seriously in any way, shape, or form?
Because you should be lucky to have me on stream.
No, I don't consider.
And if you're not gonna
appreciate,
You should be lucky to have me on stream. Oh my god, dude. Oh my, who do you think you are? Holy fuck. The other problem with her too is her ego is like about the same size as her body. She like believed that like lyrics, I think, what was it? I could be misquoting it, but like she had been the one that gave lyrics the idea to start doing the music content or something. He was like stealing her idea. I could have it off. Or no, sorry. Got that wrong. An idea for a specific piece of music content that was like super vague.
I don't consider it to be
If
lucky
you're not
to
gonna appreciate that, then you don't get to have me on.
Okay.
So, you know?
Wow, it's almost as if I was fucking complaining from the get-go. That I didn't want to fucking waste my time. Where did you get the fucking understanding that I was like somehow appreciative in any way, shape, or form?
I was seeing...
this is just gay sub-dialogue. She's saying you're not appreciative. Instead of pushing her on like the details or anything we want to hear about, it's gonna be like, do you have a source for where like I was where I said I was appreciative? She's not claiming you were appreciative. That's not even a claim you need to get caught up on.
That wanted me on?
Yes, because they want me to fucking yell at you.
Yeah, you wait to get performative. You're not performative yet. You want to start the dialogue and then you can do all your little performative shit. But you're getting caught up on like the appreciative claim.
Maybe we could have an honest, genuine conversation.
Okay, we can't have
but he does fake rage. The fake rage is so unentertaining because it's like so obviously fake. Like, at least make it believable. Like, Morale did the same shit, and you people, like, ate it up, like fucking babies with keys being like jingled in front of them. Like they'll shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. It's just like annoying. You're not actually mad. You're trying to be performative.
Honest, genuine conversation, but I'll have you know that I'm not in any way appreciative of it. So, you know, don't feel dignified in any way, shape, or form.
Because people talk to me like I'm not a human being. People have like
I'll
people
talk
just
to
say
you
these
like you're a
crazy-
human being, but stop fucking wasting my time with a fucking bullshit and just engage in the fucking discussion. Just give me
Okay,
your
then
fucking point.
Ask me questions.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I agree with Rose. W point. Why have you not asked her a question yet?
Two questions about what? I thought you had something for me. I thought you wanted to fucking ask me questions.
No, like why would the fuck would I want to be here?
I thought you
were
wanted
the
to
one
discuss the whole.
interrogating
I thought no, I don't have anything for you. I thought you wanted to talk about the fucking like whole.
No, wait a second. Okay, Gamma, you can't ask a question. I will ask the question.
All right, ask the questions. Go ahead.
Okay.
Have I been
Can you
logged
hear
in
me?
this whole time?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Rose, did you make the Google Doc with all the things you did?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What?
Aren't you BradTaste Music X?
Wait, are you talking about the one that where it was like all the chores and stuff?
Yes.
I didn't make that shit. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
about that shit. Like,
Aren't you his ex?
no, what the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Pay attention.
Who are you?
What?
Who are you?
Fuck is that?
RoseMulet.
RoseMulet is a very close friend of BradTaste.
Dude, do your homework.
No, but you told her to make it, or you published it, something like that.
I didn't do any of that, actually. I had no association with that document being made or published. That was not me.
Okay, then why did you agree to it being published?
I don't know what you're talking about.
This
I
is
literally
insane. This is insane. Are you serious, bro? Gamma is like the worst. You have Kathy come in and do this at the end, okay? If you actually care about content, there is such easy content to be made here, and you could just like wait until like it's entertaining for us now, sure, but from like the perspective of, like if I were Gamma right now, like you can still get this content at like the end. Like you're just gonna risk like this person leaving.
nothing to do with
You
that.
sound guilty as fuck right now. It's like,
He didn't care about this? Yeah, and that's why he like averages 10 viewers, right? That's why he averages 10 viewers.
if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't just cry and say, I don't know.
Dude, I'm wasting my time. Nobody wants to be
Wait,
here, so...
Wait, I actually have a genuine question.
Okay, no, wait. Come
Finally.
on, one more question. What's your relationship with Destiny?
I've been on a stream a few times. Pretty much it.
Are you in support of Destiny spreading revenge
Gamma,
porn?
why do you have DMs with him? Very illicit sexual DMs.
You're thinking of a different Rose, and also I'm pretty sure you're trolling me, so...
No, I'm
you
reading
know.
right now. He said, I just woke up. I'm riding.
I'm putting this in
riding.
1.5. This is just non-tent so far. Like total non-tent. You're like, the Indian voice.
That's rising.
Yeah, so the funny thing about that is I made that the thumbnail so that people would click on the video and be curious, but it's actually like him talking about waking up, and we're gonna have a debate in like a few minutes.
He wouldn't just type riding 3 times as a typo. He knows he was trying to make it sexual. And so he say, oh, riding what? A dick? And say yes.
Well, then you just got clickbaited, so I mean...
No, I'm telling you, Destiny is trying to make it sexual.
You think so? Genuinely? I mean, I don't know. It's possible, but like, if that happened, that's
Riding instead of just editing the message. He's like, oh, 3 dots, riding, oh, 3 dots, rising. He just...
I mean, knowing his history, he has...
I'm holding back tears right now.
I didn't think anything of it, and I'm not going to accuse him of anything because of shit like that.
I will accuse him of everything. Anything Destiny does has some malicious intent behind it.
Yeah, he is a sex pest, but he hasn't been that way to me, so... You know.
If he's a sex pest, why did you work hand with hand with him?
I mean, listen, I didn't know...
Everything is about Destiny with Kathy. Okay, this is my working theory, by the way. This is like actually my working theory. Okay? I think that Kathy, the reason Kathy does the fake Indian voice is because it's no longer a joke. It's to obscure his real voice, not for reasons of OPSEC, but rather for reasons of this person was formerly notable in Destiny's community and has some unrelated grievance with him, unrelated to all like the recent shit. And if that's the case, I do want to know who this person is.
What you about to do when I talk to him? I mean, I debated him in like 2022. What?
And why did you talk to him if you don't know about him?
Because I had a friend who like watched Destiny and was like telling me it was going to be a good idea, and then that we actually have like similar like beliefs, and I thought that I could talk to him about trans shit. I thought it'd be productive. I don't know, and also I just thought it'd be a opportunity for me as like a YouTuber.
You say you have similar belief. What are his belief? Not.
I don't, dude. I don't fucking know. This is what a friend told me like 3 years ago, and we disagreed on a lot. But like I tried to be civil in our first conversation. Second conversation, it didn't go too great. But that's not the point.
Do that.
Do you know Purple Gaming Perry or whatever his name is?
Who?
My agent, Purple Perry Gaming.
Perry Gaming.
Oh my god, Purple Perry Gaming. Don't even get me started with him. That guy is the worst.
If you have any like copyright concerns, you're gonna have to go through him first. By the way, he's my legal agent.
No, what's wrong with
Yeah,
Perry?
you're trolling me. So here's what happened. Okay,
Yes, I'm actually asking what's wrong with Perry.
Yeah, well, I'm going to speak about it if you want to let me speak. Okay, so what happened was I was going to make a video on Liam Donovan, and I saw that he was well content on him, and I thought that I wanted to be like, hey,
dude, dude, who do you guys prefer, Liam Donovan or Lutherix? Okay, personally, I'm more of a Lutherix guy, but this like Liam Donovan guy, also very, very interesting. Liam Donovan.
Maybe we could like work together on this. Maybe I just reached out to him, right? My message didn't go through. I didn't see his friend request, whatever. Some weird shit happened. But then I go on stream and he's fucking yelling at me. He's like lambasting me out of fucking nowhere, and it's just like bizarre.
That's his voice.
I think I'm going to get the subject on for an interview and spend 5 hours asking about how they were molested.
He's always yelling. He's loud.
Yeah, but he said the weirdest shit imaginable.
Like he's hot-blooded. He's yelling, hitting the table. He's talk fast. That's how Maltese people speak.
And all of this because I left a comment being like, "Hey, do you want to talk about the Liam Donovan shit? I'm making a video." Like that's literally all I fucking said, and he was just rude. And then he's been like so weird to me ever since. He's like bitter that my video got more views than his, which by the way, views don't matter, whatever. But
he's bitter. RoseMulet thinks like Liam's like bitter. Oh, it's like the ego on this person is fucking insane. It's like actually like. I think it's like a coping mechanism employed by like people who offer no value to society because like the mind actively tries to protect you from certain stressors, and like self-awareness for somebody like RoseMulet would be catastrophic because RoseMulet would realize that she's like a total like failure like blob that offers nothing to society, so her mind protects her by creating this like false ego so that she can, cope with the pathetic life that, comprises her existence.
And my video is about my personal shit about him, my experiences, and like, I don't know.
If he said he's working on a project, and then you come and say, no, I'm going to take that project away and make it my own. What did you understand?
No, actually, I didn't. No, my video was completely separate. I just thought that he was doing something similar, and I thought that maybe, I could talk to him about it, or we could, like, work on something, but he was very hostile to that. So my video was going to exist before I even knew that he was...
Why he did that, but I can tell you my neutral position, since I am a neutral. I don't know you, I don't know Perry. I think because you wrote it as a YouTube comment, now people are going to go to you and subscribe to you and watch your video instead of him. Right?
I'm not telling anybody to not watch anyone else's content. It was literally supposed to be like a collaborative thing, like hey, we're making videos on the same guy. I was hoping we could like bond over having like a similar experience.
What's a bond?
That's what I was thinking. Like any sane person would be like, hey, like, so, I'm glad somebody else is talking about this, like that normal kind of thing. And also when my video came out, he said to me on stream, I'm going to basically steal your video. He was the one saying that he was going to fucking steal my content because I'm quote unquote going to add nothing.
Yeah, Rose reached out to him because Rose wanted a collab. And when Rose realized there was when Rose realized that she wasn't going to get anything from him, instead it became less about like actual anger over like a stolen topic and more about, hey, like if I can't get attention from you like being on my side, I could get attention from collabing with you, then I could get attention from being your detractor, which is what she's doing with Brad, right? Rose brought up a bunch of grievances or like tried to make an expose on Loam, and a lot of the grievances that Rose brought up did not stop Rose from asking for some kind of collaboration or proposing a collaboration. These were only brought up after the fact because Rose couldn't get any attention from being on his side, so the attention was going to come from being against him. That's how this person operates. It is like kind of parasitic in nature, right? It's like how much can you suck off of another human being until like the well's dry, until they're totally dry, and then you like can like suck out things from the exterior by being a fucking detractor. Just such a pathetic person.
And he's gonna go over all the good parts, and just like the way he was talking about it was clear that he was the one wanting to steal views from me, not the other way around.
Okay, but you said you wanted to bond with him, like drama bond?
I didn't know. Listen, I didn't know anything about the dude at all.
Wait.
I just saw that he was talking about this Liam guy, and I was like, oh, somebody else is talking about him. Maybe we could have a chat about it. Like, literally, that's it.
Well,
I wanted
did
to
you
talk
actually say that, or did you just came to his YouTube account and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make that video"? Or did you say?
I told him that I was working on a video, and I wanted to chat with him. I thought that we could have an interesting conversation. I wanted to know like what he was talking about.
Kathy's cooking too hard.
Yeah, and like the whole thing is like available to watch. Like you can clearly see that he was fucking rude to him for no reason, and that's just the fact. And his behavior ever since then is just proof.
It doesn't matter that I was rude.
I didn't.
I need to turn you up.
I literally. You were again. You said that you were going to steal my video, and I have it
Yeah,
on
I said that
camera.
because you already stole my video. Like you said
You
in
can
your
watch
comments,
the two
it was in my
videos
chat.
side to side, and you
It was
can
in
clearly
my
see that I didn't.
comments. In Queen's comments, he stole his
Wait,
video.
I'm sorry. Who the fuck is this? Wait, who is the? How did this person find our base? And who the fuck is this person? Huh? Is this like okay?
He stole my video.
I'm sorry,
It's
what?
like- he stole-
It's James. So fucking unfunny, dude. It's like actually unreal. Haha, get it? Like the guy from Dexter? Actually, like, pathetic that you, like, went that out of your way for a bit that is complete. Why the fuck who got rid of the bottom? This is so dumb. Did you do this? Who got rid of the fucking bottom bookshelves? Doesn't, like, the enchantment value, like, go up? When, like, you have, like, when you have, they're stacked, like, two on top of each other? It was Dickers? Is Dickers a fucking idiot?
He went in every Liam Donovan.
They're laughing. They're laughing because they know that you're trolling me. That nothing you're saying is
No, I'm
serious.
laughing because I'm playing Minecraft. If you were
Who's
looking at the
they?
stream.
Sorry, I'm really quiet. I didn't hear him.
I'm taking this seriously.
Unironically, he has hacks? Who has hacks?
Stop saying anything Barry says
It's
trolling.
really disgusting, Rose.
Barry,
It's
no,
like-
wait a second.
What's your
every time Barry says something serious, people are saying Barry's trolling. Barry's just a troll. He's not trolling. He's being serious.
So first of all,
Bro,
again, you can
it's
actually
really
watch my
disgusting,
video
Rose.
and see that most of the
You
stuff is
didn't have
new
a
stuff.
vendetta against me. Like first you plagiarized my Liam video, and now you're like.
Now I have to turn on normal speed now, cause Parry's here. Hold on. One sec. All right.
My convos with Brad
Hold on,
and pretending
hold
they're
on.
your own. Just because I had an interview with Tina, you want to make this about yourself?
Hold on. So in the Liam video, if you
You
actually
didn't
watched
respond.
it, the only
You didn't
stuff
respond to
that
what
is
you
in
said.
both
You
of our
didn't-
content are like old
You
clips of
right.
lyrics, which are in like a
Respond.
bajillion videos. There's nothing in your
Yeah, but wait. So Rose is now saying, because the thing is, Rose wanted to add padding to her video, so she included a bunch of old shit about Liam. She included a bunch of old shit about Liam, but all of this stuff, despite now including it, was not a deterrence when Rose wanted to collab with him, right? This only came after the collab had been denied, which just was, evidence of just like how disingenuous this fucking person is.
content.
Eric's, you're dead naming
In
him.
my
I thought it was
video.
Liam Donovan now.
You only made the video because I made my video. It's like
That is
you're
not
cloud
true. I
chasing
was
shit.
working on it, and I told you that
So
I had
I
been
asked you
fucking
for the
working on the
Premiere
video.
file. You refuse to show the Premiere file because you know you're full of shit.
I'm not, because I literally have DMs
Because
and
you have
clips from
the
months
Premiere
ago.
file was made after. The Premiere file.
Yeah, wait, that's a good point from
Yeah, there was
Whoa, I
a-
didn't mean to... What is this? That's a good point from Parry. Why doesn't Rose just show the Premiere file?
Hold on.
Why doesn't Rose just show the Premiere file?
Hello?
Hey, I was talking to Ryle Kittinghouse.
Video.
Hold on.
And now you're like stealing my convos with Brad.
Hold on,
And pretending
hold
they're
on.
your own. Just because I had an interview with Tina, you want to make this about yourself?
Hold on. So in the Liam video, if you
Wait, I feel like there's context here that I'm missing. And I feel like the context is from Parry. Parry had shown DMs with Rose. Hold on. I think that we have to go to Twitter first, right? Stickers, I think I gave you the wrong shulker. Are you talking about my shulker, Noid? Because I think this is your shulker that you're looking for. You gave it to me. I can give it back to you if you'd like. But hold on. I'm going to, real quick, we're going to have to look on Twitter. I'll give it back to you when I log back in, Noid. I mean, Aiden, give it back. Hold on. I'm going to log back into Minecraft in a sec. I'll give it back to you. I just want to quickly bring up Twitter, because I feel like we're missing some context to this debate between Parry and RoseMulet. Essentially, right? I think I'm like fucking sick, bro. I am gonna give it to you. I have a ton of stuff. Of course I'm gonna give it to you. Where is it? Did somebody link the shit on Twitter? Because Parry and Rose had like a fucking argument. Shit. Is Parry awake? This would actually all be helpful if Parry was just like awake right now. What time is it in Malta? It's like 6 a.m. Okay, well, I feel like... did Parry ever publicly, like, interact with Rose on Twitter? I feel like there was some interaction that happened before this between Parry and Rose, but if I were to believe my inbox, it's non-existent. So I guess I'll go look for that and do work. Want me on? I can explain. I mean, not until I have the DMs. No, not really. You can come on if you'd like to come on. But I don't really like to have people on where I don't have the info myself, so I could dispute them on what they're saying. And I feel like there was an interaction between you and Parry on Twitter that I just don't have access to. So if you want to provide me with your DMs of Parry for me to go through, then I'll have you on to talk about it, because he's provided DMs somewhere and I don't know where it is. I saw your video. I saw your video. Okay, I don't know. I guess Rose and Parry never had an interaction, and they're referring in this conversation to something fucking non-existent, because I guess that wasn't, like, relevant to Lank, right? The video of you talking to Parry? Did you come on Parry's stream? I don't know what's going on. I'd love to talk to you if I knew what was going on, but I didn't get it linked. Can you link me, you and Parry talking, and then I will talk to you about it? Because this fucking idiot, this this obese fucking Maltese idiot is like, Aiden, what do you think about me talking to Rose? And then there's just, okay, thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose. That's actually very useful. You're actually more competent. No, not from 4 months ago, from recently. From recently. Can you just send me the DMs the two of you had that he showed me that I guess is now just like not anywhere? I think I'm going to allude to some drama with RoseMulet, but not, and I want you to talk about it, but I don't have any, I'm not going to link you anything. I think I'm going to allude to it publicly in my Gamma debate, but not have it linked anywhere, so you can't know the context. This is the source of it all? Okay, oh wait, okay. Is this the video where he accuses you of stealing it? Because the watermark shit was recent. Both of you had an argument about watermarks. Okay, hold on. I think I'm gonna go look for the context here real quick, and then I'll have you on if you want to come on, Rose. 150 people. I don't have like any. No, I could do the work myself. But if I had to put. Hold on one sec. Am I misremembering something? Did the two of them not have an argument about watermarks on Twitter or in DMs? Am I missing something? Did Parry never show that either? I think Aiden is lazy. I make $8 an hour, okay? The only work I'm putting into these streams is the stream itself, okay? I can't what is you'll send that too. Okay, thank you. I'm about to I'm about to have a heart attack. You'll link the tweet? Why aren't you prepared for streams? Because preparation will be putting in an additional hour, and if I put in an additional hour, I'd actually be making $5 an hour doing this, okay? This is just not worth it for me to go put in all this advanced prep, okay? It's not worth it. I do the bare minimum of prep. The bare minimum. Thank you, Rose. God. You're doing all the work for me? Yes. Okay, so Parry had a convo with BradTaste. Plagiarism alert. Noted fat Trump supporter RoseMulet has stolen my DMs with BradTaste and pawned them off as their own. Here's the original compared to the fake. You lying piece of... See, they're arguing. This would have been great content if I was to believe my fucking inbox. This conversation is non-existent. It's not... Wait, what about my anger indicates that it's performative? I am actually angry. I am actually mad. I am actually seething. There is nothing performative about it. It is pure, genuine fucking frustration. You lying piece of shit, you are an awful, horrible person. If I'm lying, cite your sources. If I'm lying, cite your sources. Since I'm telling the truth, just apologize. Watch my video, you idiot. You know exactly what you're doing. You're not even good at faking shit. Okay, so also, okay, apparently he gives a fuck. I'll have you on in a sec, Rose.
Now, I will say, I'm going to...
It turned out Rose was lying, by the way? No, it didn't. Where did it turn out that that happened? My inbox doesn't show proof of that. I think you're lying. I think you're lying because nowhere in my inbox does it show it turning out that Rose lied. So I think you are lying, chatter. You're the liar.
If you actually watched it, the only stuff that is in both of our content are like old clips of lyrics, which are in like a bajillion videos. There's nothing in your content.
Lyrics? You're dead naming
in
him.
my
I thought
video.
it was Liam Donovan now.
I'm Gamma. I think two dead name jokes of a few minutes is funny in fucking 2025. You're dead naming him. I think you're dead naming him. Shut up. You are so annoying, and this is why you're always gonna have 5 fucking viewers.
You only made the video because I made my video. It's like
That is not true. I was working
dead naming
on it, and I told you that
So
I had been
I asked you
fucking
for the
working on the
Premiere
video.
file. You refuse to show the Premiere file because you know you're full of shit.
I'm not, because I literally have DMs
Because
and
you have
clips from months
Premiere
ago.
file was
You're so... I am mad. I am mad. I am angry. I am upset. I am seething. Problem? Like, issue? What's the problem? I'm mad. Concern?
Made after the premiere file.
You guys are too biased.
Okay, hold
Half your jokes are equally as annoying, dude. Move on. That's your comeback? That's your comeback? Just some, like, vague statement about how you personally are annoyed by my jokes? No, like, funny rebuttal? Nothing? You humorless piece of shit?
Hold on. Let me explain. So, do you think that
Yeah, move on. What more is there to say? Nothing, actually. There was nothing more to say. You decided to chime in with something useless, which is like an ongoing habit of yours.
Again, you had like 100 subscribers at the time. I looked up Liam Donovan on YouTube because I was making a video and
When
I
have you
wanted
ever made funny rebuttals? You haven't. That's the point. You've tried.
to find information, and that's how I even discovered your channel.
Kyle,
in the first
join the
place.
call. Join the call. Join the call. Kyle, join the call.
Hold on. I wouldn't have known you existed. If I wasn't already making a video.
So this could actually be an entertaining convo between Rose and Parry right now, where like Parry actually seems to have a good point, but Gamma, who wouldn't know what creates good content if it fucking hit him in the ass and went up his anus, okay? Gamma, who has no idea what makes good content, thinks this is a good time to get the fucking troll back in to do the same unfunny Indian bit for like 5 more minutes.
Filibustering.
So you are lying. You told Gamma, I'm gonna copyright you for watching someone else's video. So how come
That's
how
true.
do you expect me to
threatened.
trust you about
Hold
Barry?
on. I'm not going to copyright claim this stream, and that's what you're asking.
Huge.
I am going to clarify that statement. The people I'm going to copyright claim are the people that are going to re-upload the video that I leaked because they are doing so maliciously to try to take views away from me, because I know these people, I know how they act, and I can look at statements you specifically said.
You can't prove it's malicious. You can't prove it's malicious. How do you know it's not
I
fair use?
know it is.
You said Gamma was malicious before, so you
There
just
were
like
people
are
when I
assuming.
leaked the freestyle, there are people who falsely took credit for that, and I was pissed off by that. So I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again.
Can you name names? I'd be willing to go on an attack for
And
you.
Brad literally says that I did it.
I'd be willing to criticize those people just for you if you name names.
Okay, I can go. I know Beto Bat did it. I know the Oxcord Discord. They took credit for it. I mean,
You're just
you
trying
can
to
go
get your audience to
on
harass
Genius.
these people. You're trying to
I'm
get your
actually
audience to
not.
harass these people. You're literally saying on like a known Doxer Gamma's stream.
You asked for names, you asshole. You literally asked me to say names.
I asked names.
All right, Rose wants to come on. I'll have Rose come on. I'm gonna pee really quick because I have to do that for some reason. And then I'll have Rose come on. And yeah, apparently the rest of this is like total non-tent. Can chat confirm? Because Gamma's the one who's telling me it's non-tent, but this person clearly like lacks the ability to understand what is content and what isn't. So, is the rest of this worth watching? It's not non-tent. Okay, well that's Lumpy Willie.
No, I'll take the names. I'll take the names. You can send them.
Brother, just sleep. I'm not ready to go to bed. I'm not tired right now. I know when I could go to bed, right? Because I'll make that like conscious decision as an autonomous individual human being. Okay, you're not my mother, but I appreciate it.
To me in my own Discord.
I'm gonna go pee real quick. Hold on. I'll be right back here in a sec, folks. If you want to support the stream, as always, you could donate through Streamlabs Super Chat. You could like up, sub up, join the community, and clip. Shout out to my top clipper right now, Conspiracy Lemur. Keep those. You get a cool role in my server. Get to join exclusive chat, and I'll be nice to you. But hold on, I'll be right back, folks. I'm just gonna pee. Give me 2 seconds.
Forever. You know what? I'm trying to tuck in a pretend like this thing.
end. Like, oh, just cause I lost a couple friends. Nah, man, I'm still riding up in Mountain State's hands, and I cannot play pretend with the shit that they saying. Look, I don't wanna mix words, alright? But I'm a fucking nerd. Look, I ain't never been this guy. I ain't never said, alright, talk about my cock, but if I did for a second, I reckon I'm so screwed. Like I do with everything else. Yes, it's so big it hurts if that helps. Look, the person that I am is not what they say that is online, and it should be a fucking crime. And you know what? It kinda is. My mother, she heard you started suing. I said, Mom, what the fuck you doing? I was like, listen, it's like my life she wants to ruin because just like everybody else, nobody understands this house with the internet. It is done to every woman and son. Oh man, where have I begun? Just a topic. I probably should not have brought it up. But I've been going through a lot of stuff, and it's been rough, and I've been
All right, I'm back. Hopefully you like the BradTaste freestyle. We're gonna keep watching this, and then I'm gonna have RoseMulet call in. Okay. If anybody remembers the facts though of the, because I made some. If anyone remembers the stream where I originally covered RoseMulet's Brad video, and remembers what, because I don't remember what had led me to the conclusion initially. I remember it was a good point because I remember. But I don't remember what my point was about the reasoning behind why Rose flipped on Brad when she did.
Now, wait a second. Rose, I was...
Can I get my shulker, please? I need to leave. Yeah, I'll give you your shulker. Hold on. Just come to my house.
Doing research on you in the past 2 minutes, and I found out that you were crying.
Huge.
You were crying about Charlie Kirk.
What?
You were crying about Charlie Kirk when he was kirked.
I wasn't crying, but also like a man was murdered. I don't agree with his political views,
You're
but
pro
like
rape.
I don't.
But you're pro rape. You don't care when women are raped. You care when a man's murdered. Explain.
Have you cried when he said, "Oh,
is this actually worth watching?" Like I don't.
Admitting that they are going to steal a video specifically so that I don't get views for it. That is like against. It's not fair use.
I see.
You're
I
just
see. Now, so you
re-uploading a
about
video.
Ethan Klein?
You're assuming.
About Ethan
You're not
Klein
admitting.
suing Krogan and Denims?
I said nothing about Ethan Klein at all.
No, but you're talking about legally my right, my copyright, my legal, my IP.
Alright, Colin,
so you said
fuck
about
this.
Ethan Klein suing Denims and Krogan.
You gave me the right shulker? Wait, then give it back. If that was the right shulker, then give it back. Because I don't have your other shulker. I only had one. All right, I'll call Rose. Oh, you did? What's inside of it? Wait, but you gave me a shulker with like, oh, you, okay, never mind. All right, thank you. All right, where is, I'll call Rose then. Fuck it. Did you get to the part where she's talking about water? No, wait, hold on. I want to see that part. Tardy Pond W?
A lot of like actual exclusive videos.
Okay, what
I
you
do.
just said, that's
Watch
the one.
my video.
I think it's down here.
But you put your
God,
watermark over it, which
what?
implies that you're taking
How?
credit for it. It implies that
What?
you are taking ownership
Again,
of somebody else's
TMZ
intellectual
does that
property.
shit.
What?
Like
Okay, but TMZ pays people to do that.
Comparing yourself
TMZ
to
purchases
God.
the rights of that
TMZ
from other
gives
people.
money.
Wait, is the argument that it's Brad's creation and by Rose putting her watermark over it, she's taking like ownership of the material? Is that the argument? Or was it Rose actually just took somebody else's leak and put her watermark over it?
Last time I took a video of a guy named Aiden. I don't know if you know him. He's like a child streamer. I took video of him.
Okay.
You know what? The
And
fact
I
that
sent
people are
TMZ.
mad
They
at my
gave me
watermark.
$25.
What?
Next time I'm gonna make the watermark twice as big. Next time I'm gonna make the
What?
water. I'm gonna add a shit ton of
What?
watermarks.
Huge base.
What? Oh my
But did you
God.
pay BradTaste?
Just because it
What?
pisses you guys off, and because I
Dude.
can do it and
What?
I should do it, and I'm standing up for
Oh my
myself and all the
God.
people who are shitting on me.
Oh my God.
And don't want to give me credit for shit that I clearly fucking did.
What?
No, you
So
are calling us sexist
What?
now. You're calling us sexist.
if they are going to maliciously do anything, I will take action. If they try to like remove the watermark, I will.
What?
I'll be removing the watermarks. All right, I'll have you come on, Rose. Hello?
Hello, what did you want to ask me?
I thought you wanted to call in.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to clear up any misconceptions you might have about me. So,
Yeah, so I guess
not thanks.
Yeah, so my question, what is your motivation for the content about Brad? What are you trying to do? Because I'm pretty sure you claimed on Twitter you still care about like his best interests. You did like pose yourself as somebody who was like genuinely concerned about him. So I guess like what's your intent?
That's a really good question because I'm somebody that like did care. Like I had a lot of private conversations with him where I tried to steer him in the right direction, right? But recently, we had a bit of a falling out. And it just some of the conversations I've had with him, just some of that behavior, I've noticed it. And he had like a whole like argument with me, basically acting like he's changed and that I haven't changed. And it's all fucking bullshit. And I basically said, look, dude, I'll talk to you. I'll be friends with you. But you got to promise that you're not going to fuck me over. And then he was going to talk about how, in the future, he's going to do what he did last year and still not promote me and still not do this because he thinks that he's better than me. It was like a whole fucking weird thing. And I gave him a day or two. I'm like, okay, come back to me tomorrow, see if, and I told him I'm not going to change my mind on this. And he was just like, he was attacking me for it. I mean, I don't think he's going to say anything about it.
Wait, this
so that
pissed
me off.
This was private, this conversation you're referring to?
Yeah, this was like a private thing.
When did this happen?
And this was like yesterday, like a few days ago. It was very recent.
And that's why your new video came out, right?
Yeah, because I mean, just the fact that he would say that to me was concerning. And also and again, there's like a pattern of behavior. And I just know that like when Brad comes back, he's going to act like he's all changed. And I'm basically being like, hey, this is a video that he fucking sent to me, right? Where he's doing all the shit that he did before while in, public or in all these other videos, he wants to act like a certain way. And it's like, I've spoken to the dude, right? And I know because it's me, people aren't going to take it seriously. That's why I'm just like playing clips of the video because it's like, even if you don't fucking like me, you can hear what he's saying. And it's just like, yeah, it's not great. Okay. So just recognize there's a pattern going on here. And when he comes back, don't fall for his bullshit. It's really as simple as that. And also, just like I said, stuff that he said to me that was concerning, and also just
wait,
I don't know, shocking to me.
Hold on, because I'm trying to. Sorry, I don't want to forget anything, so I'm trying to take this like one at a time here. So just to clarify, the conversation. So after the Tina videos and shit came out, you and him did rekindle your relationship at some point, correct?
So, yeah, I'm gonna explain how that happened because originally when I made my first video.
But before we do that, hold on. I could get to that in a sec. But then because I'm just trying to understand. And then after that, you two had fell out a few days ago. Can you the part I want to elaborate on a little bit is this falling out began because he said he was still not gonna like promote you or anything?
It was more than just that, and it wasn't. I know how it sounds, but it was just the fact that he like saw he was talking about how I was just like a negative person, and I'm like thinking about the calls I had with this dude, and it's like and also just the fact that he's only talking to me because all of his other friends abandoned him for being a horrible person, and so like I just knew that like once he has like other people in his life, he's gonna fucking dish me, and I'm like this guy's not a real fucking friend. So it's just like a bunch of other shit in general. I know how it sounds on paper. And so people are gonna run with that. There's nothing I can fucking do, and no one's gonna believe me. Whatever. But here's how.
You have this like
Can
helpless.
I explain how it started?
Yeah. I'll let you start. I'm not anything I'm judging you off of is not because I know about your history. This stuff just sounds the way it does because factually that is just the way it comes off, right? It does seem like there is some grievance over him not promoting you, but you can continue.
And I understand that. I don't even like deny that it appears that way. I can just all I can say is like this is what happened, and people don't have to believe me. But I'm just being 100% and honest about everything. Anyway, so the reason we started talking again, because when I originally made that video, I was all done with him. I was disgusted with the audio because that audio was like new to me. Like I knew about the arrest a year before, and like that was obviously really concerning. And I tried to like people don't talk about this. I basically leaked it before anybody else. His other friends were silent about it. I wanted people to know, and people were like in my ear telling me to not fucking talk about it. So I was like, okay, they were telling me to like
you were
feel
not the one
bad
that
for
leaked the
Brad.
audio, right? That was Tina.
No, no, I didn't leak the audio. I leaked the fact that he got arrested like last year, and there's a video of it on YouTube. There's proof of it. Whatever, right?
You were defending him well after his arrest. You were defending him well after his arrest, right?
Yeah, but also keep in mind that he was like in my ear, and I had everybody telling me that I was a horrible person for betraying him, and so like there was just a lot going on in my mind, and I've just been very conflicted, and it was just a really shitty situation for me. And I just try to be nice to people. People can criticize my actions, and I know that they're going to, right? So this recent situation, right? How I became quote unquote friends with him again, right? What happened was I released the video. I was like, fuck this guy. I'm not speaking to him again. And I fully expected it to end there. So I was shocked. I opened Discord and Brad says, he basically is like, I'm talking to nobody else, but I wanted to check in with you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, he knows that I leaked his freestyle. Why the fuck does he want to talk to me? And at that point, I just kind of felt bad because I'm like, holy shit, like this dude has no one. And I'm just like, fuck. And I think about like my morals and like, I don't want the dude to like kill himself. So like, I do want to be there for him. Right. And I do care about him. And at a certain point, we start talking for a bit. And, on like a human level, I care about the dude. I've known him for so long. I'm still disgusted by his actions and I'll call him out for that. But it's really not as simple as people like to make it out to be. So it's this whole thing where it's like, he calls me and I'm going to answer the phone. Just like I answer the phone with like commentary channels who are just like, acting shitty to me.
Can I ask a question?
It's not because I like them as people. Yeah, what?
Sorry, you talk a lot, so I might need to interject sometimes for like some questions on individual facts.
Oh yeah, no problem.
But when you're talking about being worried about him taking his own life, that's in reference to you after knowledge of the arrest, while you were still in contact with him, right? And like being like supportive in his DMs. Or is this in regards to the recent stuff?
Oh, I've been worried about the dude like being suicidal for a long time. I think everybody close to him has,
Yeah, but after the recording came out and you had flipped on him, the DMs actually showed you still being his supporter, like right before that.
Yes.
And that was not because of genuine support for him. That was because you were worried he was going to take his life. Is that what you said?
Well, like I said, as with life, things are complicated because, like, here's the thing. Like, I collected information on him the entire time, like, we rekindled, right? So, I have this, I've been studying, like, CIA, like, tactics and shit. So, I can be very nice to people and very kind, but still do what I need to do to get the info that I need, right? So, those things can be simultaneous. I was being genuine with him. I did care about him, but at the same time, I kept in the back of my head, like, everything I know about this guy. So, on a human level, I wanted to make sure the dude was okay, but also I wasn't going to be okay with basically, the way that he treated me before, whereas he basically, put me out to dry, and everyone was just shitting on me. It was a horrible situation. And he basically made it clear to me that he would do that again to me. And and that's the point where I just stopped even bothering. I'm not going to pretend because it's like, he's just going to hurt me in the future later on.
Hello?
You start, improving, quote unquote. You start telling people that you're better, and then you're gonna be like, oh, but I can't associate with Rose because she's so negative. And I'm just like, fuck off, dude. You're a domestic abuser. And I said that to him. It's like you literally have no ground to say that shit about me. I mean, yeah.
So I guess, sorry, because you had just briefly cut out when you were saying the things that he was saying to you. So can you just repeat that last bit for me?
Saying, oh yeah, basically like, he's a domestic abuser. He has like no ground to stand on to be like, oh, I can't platform Rose because she's negative. And he's talking about his future self where he's reformed and changed and, but he won't bring me along. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to play this game where people have to be like, secret about being friends with me. Either you fuck with me or you don't. Okay.
Okay.
I've done it. I've done it with him in the past, and also me making this video is more than just that. But that was a motivating factor, right?
Well, it does.
I've done it before. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. So the problem I have is it seems like you develop personal grievances with people, and then give like add points about like what the public doesn't like about them to add padding. To like you articulating those personal grievances and the videos you make on them, but your prior behavior shows that you actually might not have cared a whole lot about those things that you're now using as points, right? It seems to me like the domestic abuse thing. If you were willing to like rekindle and be friendly with him again in public, isn't or in private, really wasn't like a huge like concern for you until you would learn that he wasn't planning on platforming you, and then you added that in addition to your personal grievance.
From your perspective, that's an entirely valid point, and I could totally see like if I was you, I'd be like, oh my god, Rose doesn't care about the shit at all, right? Not the case. I don't need to get into like the people that I've contacted behind the scenes or like the conversations that I've had, but I've made it very clear that I don't fuck with the shit that he did. I think it's awful, and I don't want to be like associated with that, right? So.
Well, you
and again, I know nobody's gonna believe that, and that's fine.
But you had the expectation of being associated with him because it seemed like the news that he wasn't gonna platform you was actually like a bit of either like unexpected for you.
He brought up the idea of starting a podcast to me. I didn't say I was gonna do it, but he came to me one day with this idea of wanting to do that. So it was like a thing we had talked about.
Yeah, but recently, if he had said to you, Rose, when I come back, I want to collab with you, were you gonna?
Yeah, he literally did.
Were you gonna say?
He literally did.
And you just said no.
So when I said I don't want to associate myself with like his domestic like abuse, and I was giving a good hard thought, and the reason I didn't want to be because I felt like if I was like hiding, then I would be no better than Brad was. So like if I was gonna be friends with him, I was gonna be public about it. But
Hello?
20-minute video being like abuser, this is really fucked. And then I was gonna like start by being like, okay, here's why we're talking.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, you just cut out again. One more time. Sorry, I think your connection's a bit fucked.
Yeah, it might be.
All right, say those last few sentences again.
I made like a 20-minute video on why he's a domestic abuser, and I feel like that video basically speaks for itself on how I feel about the whole thing.
Well, that video at the time to me came off as incredibly opportunistic because it seemed like only days prior, and even with knowledge of his arrest, you were being supportive in his DMs. And to be fair, the reasoning you provide for that is you were like concerned that he was going to take his own life. But to me, that just feels like very convenient. A convenient like excuse for being like shifty, right? It seems to me like your relationship with him hinges upon like where you can benefit the most, whether that be his detractor or his ally. And it seems like this new video only came out after you realized he wasn't going to collaborate with you.
And like I said, from your perspective, I totally see how you come to those conclusions. all I'll say is like you're an outsider in this perspective, and I just know a lot more
Well, you've
about
leaked
like what's really
everything. You've
going
leaked
on
everything.
behind the scenes.
Well, yeah, but you've been willing to leak everything so far. So if there's some like behind the scenes info that's
Only
gonna
the bad stuff. Like all the good stuff and all the normal conversations, there's no content out of that, so I don't leak that, you know?
But it's not just about if there's some behind the scenes info that's gonna like vindicate you from looking like opportunistic and clout hungry. Why would you not leak that?
It's like not good content. I mean,
but
I
okay,
don't know.
okay, but
Do people want to see all my DMs?
But it's not just.
There's a lot.
It's not just about. That sounds like coke. It's not just about content. Like you seem to grant like significance to your reputation and the view you have amongst others. I mean, it is something you constantly allude to.
I mean,
in
do you want me to
conversations.
do you want me to send the DMs of me like talking about a suicide? That feels like a bit exploitative, but yeah, those exist.
I mean,
and a lot
yeah,
of
but
that's
that's
on Paul.
okay. The mere fact that he has been suicidal isn't gonna like vindicate like why you, unless that was like occurring like a few days prior and there had been evidence that after learning about the police report you had already switched on him, and like we can see that that's not really gonna like change a whole lot.
I mean, I don't know like what I can say that's gonna, you know, get people to like understand my perspective. And that's kind of unfortunate. Like I said, I can look through the DMs and find something. Like if there's anything like you're looking for, then that's fine.
So
I could just hope that people would, and I know it's like, oh, take my word, right? It sounds like fucking horseshit. But like, you know, I would really hope that people can understand like from a human level, like who I am. And you'll just get that from knowing me.
Well, I've known of you and I've spoken to you a few times.
Yeah, but like a very negative way, like a haha, let's laugh at Rose and like make content out of her.
Okay, but to be fair, I feel like I am incredibly fair to you, right? Like,
But right now you're being really nice. I will say that or whatever guy, horrible content. Okay, he was not interested in having a conversation, right? Like we have a lot of disagreements, but like the way you're talking to me, like this is how you have good conversations. So I will give you props for that, you know?
Like, I appreciate it. I mean, but my view of you is not really, like, my view of you is just based on my knowledge of, like, your actions. And a lot of your behavior, has seemed to
There's a lot to criticize me for. Listen, I fucking understand, okay? I'm a very flawed person. But, you know, I'm trying out here. I might make decisions people don't understand. I'm being constantly shit on by everybody, but I still try to have like a moral code. I still try to navigate it to the best that I can. It's hard not having like a support system who's like guiding me or wants to see the best in me. But you know, with all the hate I'm getting, I think I'm doing okay.
But it's not,
and I could always do better.
It's not just that you've said and done bad things, because I have said and done bad things as well. So the type of bad things you've said and done indicate a very specific type of person. And it seems like somebody with some sort of crave for attention, right?
I like attention. I mean, sue me, right? Like, so what? Like, I like attention. Yeah, like I'm gonna admit that. Well, I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with that.
I think the way
we could talk about the moral implications of it, right?
I think the ways you go about obtaining it are a bit disingenuous. But what I want to ask you is that for the recent video, you had cited this guy who apparently had been in a call with Brad when he was 14 and Brad was flirting with another girl, and you went as far as to imply that Brad belongs in prison over this type of thing, right?
So that was a mistake on my. I mean, I made the video on one night. I thought it was like a funny joke. I didn't mean to imply that he was a pedo or that I think he should be in prison. So poor planning on my part. I could edit that out of the video. If I would have spent like a little more time on it, I wouldn't have included that. So, you know, I'll take the L for that,
just
right?
To be clear, though, it did not sound like you were citing that in a joking context. Just to be clear, it sounded like you were making a very serious claim, and I want to ask.
And I understand that it sounds like that. I think it's a serious claim.
It doesn't sound like that. It was. You were making it seriously. Just to be clear.
Yes, I am making a serious claim because the claim is serious, but I think in retrospect, because I had somebody else tell me that, and I'm looking back at that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. And like I said, I will own up to that, right?
When did you learn about this video? When did you learn about this video?
Literally like hours ago, like this morning. I just saw that clip in particular, and I was just shocked by it. And like I watched the whole video. he knew things that you would only know if like you were there at the time, because like I knew this dude and he was talking about me and like his interaction, or not interactions, but like seeing me around. I'm like, holy shit, like this guy is legit.
Wait.
So that just confirmed to me. You'd have to watch the video, but there's also
he
context that you wouldn't know. So
he only knew Brad in like 2000. He knew Brad in 2018. You didn't start talking to Brad until how long ago?
2017. I knew the guy. I made a video with him in 2017.
Oh wait, so when you were saying that you've been trying to get the truth out about this guy since 2017, were you referring to Brad?
Yeah, I mean, this Perry guy I haven't known since like months ago. Perry's just like a weirdo.
That makes it hold on, but that makes it worse because you were Brad's like #1 PR agent and defender until it was no longer convenient. So to say you've been trying to get the truth out since 2017, I think is a like super dishonest portrayal of the role you played.
I made exposed videos about him in 2017 or 2018, 2024, and 2025. And I've just been like making tweets and stuff in like other years.
Okay,
so
you said you made exposed videos. Can you link me the ones from 2018 and 2024?
The one in 2018 doesn't exist because that was like an old channel and I deleted that. I could try to find like the video on my hard drive. I don't know if it's still there. Actually, no, there's one from 2019 on my channel, but it's about this other guy and there's like a section about Brad in it. I can like send you the clip of that. I mean, when we're done calling, obviously, because you know that's gonna take effort, and then I'm not gonna be able to like talk and then do this at the same. I mean, I can if you really want me to.
Got it. But it also sounds when you say I've been trying to get the truth out about him, you're acting like there's been some recurring truth about him.
Oh yeah.
Where this all it's
no.
Not, so, but it's
absolutely.
But it's like
I've known about his toxic behavior for years, but it's like it's this weird on and off relationship where it's like I think all these like horrible things and then we talk and then he's like positive about me, and when people are nice to me I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, right?
So but
and so like
why were you his #1 defender until the like indisputable recordings came out?
I think he, like I said, he was out of low, and I realized like self-respect is not allowing like myself you know, to be taken advantage of, right? Because he had nobody. And only because nobody else wanted to talk to him and is disgusted by him is he actually talking to me. So he doesn't really respect me like as a person. So I realized like, okay, then it's not really in my best interest to like be friends with him now. So why was I like being friends? Because he like bonded with me. Like he was talking to me. He was telling me like he completely understands me. And I don't know, he was saying like the right things, and it made me reconsider. And like I said, it's hard to simultaneously, you know, have all this like information of him just being an abuser and being an awful person. Then in private, you know, he's like so vulnerable. And so I don't know, you just see the way it affects him. And like the thing is, the people are more complicated than you'll give them credit for. So it's understanding that these are simultaneously true things. And when you villainize somebody or you basically idealize somebody, which is what people did with Brad, like, oh my God, he was this great content creator, you're never getting the full story. And so, like, literally all the negative things and all the positive things, they can all be true. And people just can't wrap this concept in their minds because it's just, I don't know, it doesn't make for a good clickbait, it doesn't make for a good video. So if I go back and forth, it's because, like, my mind is debating, like, I don't know how to feel, and it wants to put it in that comfy little box of this guy sucks or this guy's great. So
once again, it's just like, but the timing as well. It's just like this could be believable if like the timing of like when you come to these personal revelations about him doesn't like coincide exactly with whatever the public's present given opinion on him is.
Dude, okay, that would be understandable to say if I wasn't like calling out this dude for years prior to this, like when everybody fucking liked him. And that's the truth.
I don't know where that.
I mean,
I just need to. You said you'll go look for
you
verification
were,
of that. I just
yeah, you were.
True.
Hold on, I can send it to you. I can send you a video I made in 2019. I also made some tweets in 2018 that I mentioned in that video. I mean, it's an old fucking video.
I thought the first video was in 2018.
Yeah, it was, but I don't have that one because I deleted the channel and I tried to find. Hold on, let me see. I exposed BradTaste Music 6 years ago. Because if I were to send you the whole video, it's 15 minutes, and I have to find the timestamp. So it's 3 up. But I literally look skinny in this video, so you can tell it's old.
Just to be clear, are you not sending me the video because you can't find it, or are you not sending me the video because it's really long?
I sent you the video. I'm just explaining why I'm sending you a recent upload, and that's just a clip of it because otherwise I have to find the timestamp. It's the same video, and you can see the date in it.
So this is the 2018 one?
2019.
The 2018 one's a different video.
Yeah, and it wasn't like there wasn't like a ton because I was still new to like content creation at the time. I don't even remember what I said. I tried to find that video. I think that's lost to time. But I mean, 2019 is still many years ago. Before like people were calling him out. Before any of you guys, I think, probably knew about him. I mean, at least you commentary people. I don't know if you like watch his content like that.
Who is Nate is lame, by the way?
Oh, he's some other guy that like made a diss track on me. He's not really like relevant, but he was relevant to this situation because they were, you know, collaborating together against me. It was a whole thing.
I've never fit to a group. I love music and I love making content on it, but I also love watching my
Is this DM from Brad?
empire grow. I've always loved having
I don't
a
know
voice
what
and
you're looking at
influence.
specifically. I just sent you
The
the video that I
timestamp you
made.
gave
Like,
me, but this looks like a video on somebody called Nate is lame. I guess you got the Brad video.
yeah, it is a video on Nate is lame, but it's a clip about Brad in the Nate is lame video.
anywhere.
And you know, just recently,
If that makes any sense at all.
he admits that it was a problem.
Like, I'm heavily exposing Brad in this video. Nate is the one who like made this big expose on me, and Brad like played a part in that. If that makes any sense at all.
Those bands that I just mentioned.
Okay,
Your
hold
band
on.
is not going to go anywhere.
And you know, just recently in Brad's own video, he admits that it was a problem.
People were trying to talk to me. People were trying to tell me, hey, stop. People were trying to support me, trying to say something. I interpreted everything as like they were just trying, like everyone was fake. It felt like everybody I
What
knew.
is the criticism you're making against him here? What are you? Yeah.
I don't even remember. I think he said like some slurs to people and was just like really rude to fans, and he was only doing content for the money. And all of his old friends. It was like shit like that. Just things I noticed in his behavior that like irked me, and I wanted to talk about.
So okay, when you say, did you at this point in time have a personal falling out with him behind the scenes?
Well, I had a personal falling out with him, like, you know, really early on. But I made this video like after that. I mean, I was
How
more
long
like
after that?
You know,
I know it was a long time ago, but do you remember if it was like right after it? Because
like 2018, I had a falling out with the guy. Like it was pretty early on, maybe even 2017.
But then you rekindled with him at some point, right? Because this new.
Oh yeah, that was years. That was years later. I mean, I appeared in like his live streams. Like I was a chatter, and I just thought he forgot about me. And then eventually we just started talking again, like casually. We weren't like super close or anything. And then I made like that playlist video, and he promoted it. And then obviously our paths kind of intertwined again, right?
But just to be clear, most of your
Everyone was looking
Hold
out
on.
for me,
I'm
and
watching
I couldn't see that. I was so mentally out of it. It felt like everyone was trying to betray me.
In addition to this, he was also exposed for calling someone the R word. You good man? Like, I hope I didn't offend you too much. I get it's a sensitive topic, bro.
This seems like it's someone else calling him out for using slurs, not you.
Oh no. So this is evidence I found, and I put it in my exposed video about, you know, Brad and Nate. So I found this on Twitter, right? And so I wanted to like call. Yeah, I'm sorry if that wasn't like super clear, but again, this video is so old. I'm trying to like remember exactly what I said. But also, I think I mentioned myself. I mean, again, there's so much context that's not even here.
This doesn't seem like you trying to get the truth out about Brad. It seems like you're making a video on someone else, and there's like a brief mention of him calling someone the R slur once, and then it's
No, it's more than a brief mention. It's like a 5-minute video, 6-minute, you know.
So you've been
and there's a lot of stuff here, and there's like old clips that make him whatever.
This seems like a video about somebody entirely different.
It's hard to explain the situation because you weren't there, but like Brad was like a big part of the situation. And I explain how the Brad situation led to this person not liking me. But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's more than just this. I mean, I've mentioned it in like many tweets. I've just in general just talked about like stuff about Brad and just been like warning people about him. And people that have like followed me and know me know this about me.
But
Like,
what we
it's a
also
very-
know about you is you were such an adamant defender of his to the point where you were taking up grievances on his behalf. Like when he left, one of your criticisms of Liam was that he was being exploitative of Brad leaving. or whatever. He was trying to like ruin him by filling his gap in the market.
So you don't know the full story, and regardless of my feelings of Brad, that is still true. Liam did he still stole like Brad's whole thing. Those things can be true at the same time.
It seemed like you were
Brad
mad
can
that Liam
stop.
wouldn't collaborate, which is also another thing about convenience, right? There's all these issues now with what Liam's doing.
He stole my like worst samples idea, even if he doesn't see it that way.
But
I mean, I don't want to get into it, right? And also, he said some awful shit about me on stream, and he's just been like awful to me. And so, like, yeah, I felt like the need to call him out because I was like, oh my god, he's like doing my thing, he's doing Brad's thing, he's like doing music. Like, I can't fucking believe this.
But to be
like, lyrics is doing this.
To be clear, the him saying awful stuff about you on stream was years prior, and it didn't stop you from asking for a collab. Right? It seems like all these now laundry list of grievances against Liam came after he wouldn't collab with you.
So I understand how that sounds, and I don't think I'm gonna convince you, and that's unfortunate, right? But I thought, and again, this is maybe I'm delusional, maybe this is poor thinking in my part, right? I thought that I was extending like an olive branch. I'm like, look, we've had these problems in the past, but I'm willing to like overlook it, you know? And we can get on good terms. And honestly, Liam was like receptive at first. Like we had like positive interactions for a bit. And eventually it did turn sour. And so because like we had these positive interactions and he told me he was like starting a new leaf with this Liam channel, I was like, oh, we can make something positive out of this. And so that's when I mentioned the idea of collaboration, right?
Well,
it was like a brief thing, and it wasn't like a big deal. There was like no pressure. I was just like, hey, I'm making this worst samples thing. You want to like make like a quick cameo or be like a part of it real quick? It was literally just like that simple.
The rekindling aspect wasn't as important as the hey, we're making similar kinds of content, let's collaborate aspect. And then these like grievances that have gone on for that you list in the video on him. These are grievances that would be based on things that had occurred prior to your attempt. Prior to your attempt to collaborate. So it seems like these things you only then took issue with after the refusal of collaboration.
Okay, so actually there's a part of the story you're missing, and that's what really happened when I started this is like I saw Liam make that channel, and I posted a tweet about it, and I did this multiple times, like being like, hey, this guy said awful shit to me, like this guy's a horrible person. And then every single time, immediately after I would tweet about him, I wouldn't mention his name. He would somehow find the fucking tweet that has like 1 like and like 20 views. And he would DM me like all like, you know, my opinion. He seemed like fucking scared. And he was like trying to apologize to me. And he was trying to like make up with me. And the way that I saw it is he doesn't want me to fucking, you know, talk about this. He doesn't want me to expose him. And so like at the first few times I was like, oh, you know, sure. Like I'll be nice. I won't, you know, talk about this. But then eventually I was like, you know, this is really fucking weird.
But why would you collaborate with a guy you believed like did all that stuff?
Because this is a guy that was nothing but mean to me, and now he's being nice to me. And you know, I try to see the best in people, and so I was like, well, this guy wants to be nice to me. Maybe he'll want to do this. Maybe like we can actually build a bridge here, because otherwise, my thinking is like, why the fuck else would he be in my DMs, right?
Also, the him being mean to you part. What did he say? There's a specific clip you use in your video from one of his streams. What was it that he said that was mean?
He made jokes about like raping me because I made like those weird rape tweets.
He didn't.
And just like shit like that.
That
And
was
he just
somebody
like
else. That was somebody
insulted me.
else in the call, right?
No, he said some stuff too. It wasn't just Colton or whatever. He said some stuff as well.
What did he say?
I mean, the video's on YouTube if you want to find it. I don't remember exactly, and I don't want to misquote him. I mean, I'd have to rewatch the video. But he was joking about raping me because I made tweets about rape, so he thought it was like justified, and everyone was laughing. Everyone thought it was funny, and I was like, hey, it's not. Like, please don't do this. And I was like calmly, you know, talking like I'm talking to you now. And nobody wanted to have it. They just wanted to laugh at like my rape tweets. And oh yeah, he was like, you know, if somebody wants to rape her, she won't stop you, I think he said. And so, you know, I took an issue with that, you know, because shocker, right?
Wait. I think I know what you're referring to, and I'm pretty sure, and this was a detail that seemed to be omitted, right? It seems like you keep emphasizing that he's like making fun of you for like what happened as a result of your grooming, but he, in addition to everybody else, never up until that point had heard the excuse that all these like rape tweets you were making were a result of grooming, right? So it seems like he's making a response to your like insane takes about rape. not mocking you for being groomed.
So first of all, I'd have to find the stream because I don't want to say for sure whether I mentioned it or not. I did. Again, I don't know for sure if I mentioned it or not, but like I've been very vocal about the fact that this stemmed from me being groomed. I was very like when I
That
talked
only
to
came
him
last
about
year,
these
right?
tweets.
That only came about last year.
No, I have a video in 2021 on my channel talking about this, right? And I don't know if like Liam saw that. I don't remember if I mentioned it when talking to him, but it's a thing that I do mention to people. I at the very least said that like, hey, I was going through some like fucked up shit. Like I made some kind of mention that like, I don't fucking believe that shit. So I can't
I'm
say
pretty sure I've seen tweets indicate you do partially still believe some of it, right?
So
You defended the point of using lethal self-defense against somebody
So
trying to rape you like this year,
I
last
am
year.
so I'm a pacifist, right? I don't believe in I don't believe there's ever a justification to kill someone, right? Like I'm very anti-gun for the same reason. It's the same sort of thing. So people take that, and because of my edgy fucking tweets where I said dumb shit, right? They assume the worst, and I get it. Again, from an outsider perspective, it's a complicated situation, and I get that I look fucking horrible.
So
and I'm not going to change people's minds overnight.
substantially changed about your rape takes?
I think I just didn't like clarify myself in the most obvious way. I think I just wanted attention, and also I was groomed, and like I coped in really fucking weird ways with my trauma. And it wasn't like malicious. Like I actually wasn't like hurting anybody with what I said. And people act like I support rape. People act like I'm just as bad as like actual abusers, which is fucking crazy to me.
I don't
And
know
so
who
like
those.
that
I don't know
obviously
who those
had.
people. I don't know who those people are. Obviously, I disagree with them. You can find like extreme
Thank you.
dumbasses in regards to any
No,
issue,
it's not
but I
extreme.
don't
Like
think
a
that's the take.
lot of people say that about me.
Okay, well,
people say I'm worse than Brad. Okay, I think you might have said that this stream.
I did. I think you're more malicious than he is, based on, and you even said that from my perspective it would seem that way. But from my perspective, it does look like you're a very like opportunistic, manipulative person, as opposed to Brad, who I think is like genuinely fucking delusional.
I mean, that's your opinion of the situation. Obviously, that doesn't make me very happy to hear. And I would disagree with the fact that I'm like manipulative. I do like attention, right? And I do feel hurt. And, that motivates me. But I'm also motivated by like, the fact that I think people deserve to know this. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So, like I said, I can't change everyone's mind, but the best I can do is explain how I feel and just hope that, people can understand me.
Yeah, well, a lot of your defenses like hinge on alluding to things that nobody has access to. Like, oh, there's a lot of this in private, but I can't. I'm out. Like,
I mean, I can. Yeah, if people want me to, I can spend the time to like sort through everything. Like I've done that before. I'll do it again. It's not like a huge deal. Yeah, I mean, sure.
Okay.
No, I have no issue against that.
Yeah, but my question is like, it seems like the like main points we were criticizing you about your like takes on rape, under the logic you've just expressed to me, have not really changed. Like in regards to you being a pacifist, surely you're still against like the rape device, right? That like barbs the perpetrator's penis.
So, from my understanding, that rape device was purely hypothetical and was never like actually practical or was going to be used, and there were like issues with it in general.
What would
And
that
I think the
change about
use
your
of that
argument?
device would. I think I was being like very stupid, and I don't know what the fuck I was on.
Well, you just
I-
said
like
you're
I said, I-
you just said
part
you're
of
a
me-
pacifist that
Yeah.
believes in like not doing harm, even in like.
Well, okay. So I think my mistake was like, taking this thing and just like going hard on it and just like making that a thing because I knew people would like talk about it. That was really fucking stupid.
Do you disagree with the substance of your take? Do you disagree with the take itself?
I am more sympathetic to the why someone would think that would be
That's
a
not
good
what
thing.
I.
I
That's
think
not
they're
what I asked you.
practical. Well, it's a nuanced answer.
But your answer applies on regret for making the argument itself, being
I have a
sympathetic to the other
regret
side.
because my opinion has changed.
Okay,
Right?
your
It's not
opinion's
the
changed.
same
How
opinion.
has your opinion changed?
Well, I was going to explain that. So I understand, and please let me finish my sentence because this is like a long thing, right? I understand why someone would look at that, and the normal thing is to see that and be like, oh, thank God somebody's actually going to do something to prevent rape, right? And so what they saw when I said that is, oh my God, she's defending that because like you know, it was like a really fucking weird thing to take such a strong stance against an anti-rape thing. And most women are like, you know, begging for someone to like take them seriously for these very issues. And I was so stuck on my own fucking worldview that I didn't even comprehend that that was like why people were so horrified by my tweet. So my thing is like I don't believe in concept in like things like that, and I think that a lot of times it'll lead to like victims actually like getting hurt and leading situations to becoming like deadly or resulting in violence when, you know, they wouldn't have otherwise. I don't think it actually like fully prevents rape. It just, I think that there are a lot of like, you know, real valid criticisms. I just did not convey like the point good at all. But I think that like actual things that like are good at preventing rape are good. Like you, if there is a way to prevent rape, you should absolutely fucking do that because rape is evil. And I'm genuinely like, I've always believed that. I was so fucking stupid.
So if you're about to be raped,
my priorities were fucked.
If a guy's holding you down, he's just taking off his pants, he's about to rape you, and like you shoot him, you just said like in theory you're against that, right?
Well, I mean, I'm very extreme in my, like, if somebody came to my house and wanted to shoot me, like, I wouldn't stop them. And I don't know why I'm like this, actually. I mean, it might be like a trauma thing. Like, I genuinely would let someone kill me and I'd be like, oh, well, you know, people are going to feel bad for me and I'm going to be a victim and like, it's not a healthy way to think at all. But, like, that's how I feel. If somebody, like, did something awful to me, I would do that because I think, you know, people outside the situation. But then it's like, I don't know how I'd actually act if that were to happen to me. Like, I can say all that. And so I think my mistake is like, I shouldn't fucking judge people or put in these awful fucking situations where it's like, if you're genuinely being raped, I do think you have a right to like not allow yourself to be fucking raped. I think loss of human life is fucking awful, but like, I completely understand the self-defense argument. And as much as I am a pacifist for like extreme cases like that, it's like understanding that, you know, there's a reason why most people aren't so extreme on these sorts of beliefs because there's an understanding.
Well, I'm not
that like
I'm
as
not,
much as
I'm not asking you about your sympathy to the other side. I'm asking whether or not you agree with that. Do you agree with the other side? Like that you do have a right, like, or you should use like force to like defend yourself from being raped?
So personally, I would not, but I like again, the difference is I'm not going to judge somebody who does that now, whereas before I would have because I was so stuck in my own head and what I would do. And I was literally, and I realized this, I was incapable of like differentiating how I would feel of like responding myself as to other people. And so like this is like maturing and realizing like how other people are choosing to respond to this sort of thing is like completely valid. And like, yeah, they have a right to like not be fucking raped. And when I said that, it completely fucking sounded like I was like, yeah, you should be fucking raped. You should sit there and take it, which is so fucking awful and not what I said. But like, it sounded that way. And anybody listening to that would hear that. And so like, again, I totally get it. And that's why it's so fucked. And I've never had an opportunity to like talk about this or explain this. Cause like, I know even talking about this or saying this now, nobody's going to care or, you know, give a shit that like I'm saying this. You know, it's not going to stop people from harassing me.
Well, they don't because it genuinely does not sound like the substance of what you've previously been arguing has changed all that much, and it now seems like you're even denying that you were making that argument. That's just what it sounded like.
So again, I mean, people can't read my mind. I know what I said sounded fucking awful, and everybody, like, there was a right to be mad. And at the time, I didn't understand why people were mad. I thought, like, I just was in the right and that people just didn't get it. But that is just because there was this disconnect of what I thought I was saying and what I actually was saying. And only, like, now am I actually starting to understand that. You know?
Got it.
And it's kind of eye-opening, and it's like, oh my God, like, this is what people have been trying to tell me, and it's just like, fuck. I mean, you know, I'm already fucked because of the things I said. So I guess moving forward, there's not much I can do. But I mean, I would just hope that I just make positive content and stuff that I'm proud of, and I'll find my people that fucking get me and understand who I am.
Yeah,
you know.
The other question I have is, you say you're like a lot of like your like support for Brad that does like contribute to the notion that you were like shifty or switching up was because you were concerned about his mental health or that he would kill himself. Can you acknowledge that Brad probably still is very mentally unwell?
Yeah, no, abso-fucking-lutely. I think that that is very like, yeah, like you can look at the video that I just released and be like, oh, like Rose, like why are you doing this? Why are you like pushing him like even worse? So before that, and that's a completely understandable point. Before I made that video, I actually talked to him and he made it clear that like he's currently in the process of getting help. So like he's not even online as I'm like making this video, if that makes any sense at all. So like that's something that I also took into account.
Well, just
And
because
he's like,
he's not uploading doesn't mean he's not watching. And also, you literally said that
yeah,
only
he doesn't
only a
watch
few
drama
days
videos.
ago.
I've talked to him.
You
Yeah.
said, but okay, but even videos specifically from you, you said that like a few days ago he was even having discussions about like returning and making content. Like to think that you don't think he's gonna see a video on your channel.
So actually, he didn't watch my other video about him. That's the fucking crazy thing. And I didn't believe that. Like, he didn't need to. He didn't want to know. And the only time that he would know about what was going on, like in the drama sphere, is when other friends would tell him because he knows like it'd be awful for him. So he just doesn't fucking do it. And so like that's something that I know, right?
Okay, when you say you
And
didn't
again,
believe him, you
I
believe.
think it's a worthy criticism to be like, Rose, I think this is like really shitty of you to do because of how like, you know, he's struggling right now. I completely fucking
Well,
understand
no,
that,
that's
right?
not even the criticism I'm making, right? Like I've made videos on him while I believed he was mentally struggling, right? The criticism would be it seems to contradict the sort of like, you know, concern for his mental health thing you evoke when it like benefits your narrative, right? This doesn't seem like somebody who is genuinely concerned about this guy's mental health would like do, just trying to throw. It seems like something somebody who was vindictive and wanted to get back at him would do, right? By throwing in anything and everything you think could like fill the contents of a new video. But it seems to contradict the own image you've presented of yourself when it benefits you. Like, oh, you were only supportive after the arrest and stuff because you were worried this guy was going to take his own life.
No, but that's the thing is like I do genuinely care about his mental health, and like totally see how my actions make it look like I don't, and that I just know that like I actually do, and
Then
I
why are
don't
you
know
trying
what
to
I can
humiliate
say.
him?
I just felt like people had a right to know.
Well, a right to know
You
that
know?
he made an embarrassing like movie.
Well, I mean, to me, he was showing like patterns of manipulation and just the things that he said to me. Like it showed to me, like literally yesterday, that he was going to go back on the same path when he got better and make the same
Wait,
mistakes. And
how is
so
it
I have to put a
manipulative?
stop to it.
How is it
I mean,
manipulative that
you weren't there when I
you
had the
keep
calls with him privately, and what he said to me, and what made me make this decision because it was a very sudden thing. I just wanted reassurance that like he wasn't gonna fuck me over after like all the calls that we had.
Wait,
And
how
so
is
when he
it?
said what he said, it was like very eye opening, and I was like, oh my god, like I need to like disassociate now. Like
Yeah,
it
but
was bad.
how is it
I should have
manipulative?
talked about that in the video.
What is
You know.
manipulative about him like trying to pursue like filmmaking and making some like really cringe video? What's like manipulative about that?
Um, I kind of, and again, maybe I got kind of lost in it. There wasn't like a lot of content. I just kind of wanted to update people on like what's been going on and like how he's been like wanting to return to like YouTube. And so yeah, maybe that wasn't like a clear thing. Like, oh, you know, he's making music. He's making. I don't know. Like I said, I could see how it seems like
But you
invasive, and
just
there's
but
probably some valid criticism against what I'm
but
doing.
you just said that the contents of those videos, the content of that video, despite knowledge of his like poor mental health, was made because the public deserved to know, right? But now you're kind of all agreeing that it was padding for the video, right?
Hey, I mean, it's an 8-minute long video. Like I said, this was all like very last minute. Like I was very emotionally charged, and you don't tend to make the best decisions there. But like I said, I'm looking at the response. You know, I'm basically like, okay, I learned like some lessons from this, and I'll be better in the future. Like,
But it
but
says,
at the same time,
but it seems like the emotionally charged aspect of it led to you actively wanting to humiliate him, despite knowing he's mentally unwell, and using that fact to make yourself look like a concerned bystander when it benefits you.
I don't like humiliating anybody. That's not who I am as a person, and I feel awful that you would like think that of me, and I'm genuinely so sorry.
Rose,
Like if that's
Rose,
What you think?
because then you need to enlighten me. What is like the functional purpose of like including like the embarrassing images of him with blue hair, the freestyle, or I guess the freestyle you could argue that the public has a right to know how he views the Tina narrative, but the film, like the film, the embarrassing film that he made, like what does that add?
I literally just wanted to like catch people up, and I was looking for
What
any
does that
sort of
catch them
content
up
that I
on?
could find.
Yes. So yes. Okay. So, but it catch them up on something humiliating that he's done, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that it really does appear that way, and I'm not going to get anyone to believe that that wasn't my
You
intention.
keep
But it
saying it
really,
appears
it
that
genuinely,
you
it
keep
genuinely wasn't, and
you,
that's the fucked up
you
thing.
keep
It's
saying
like
appears that way, but your own description of your intentions doesn't make sense.
no, but because like I said, I mean, my mind works in very weird ways. Like I did not want to manipulate. Like I did not want to like humiliate him. That's not what I fucking do. After all the conversations that I've had with him, I would never fucking do that to him, even after like the shit that he
But
said to me. That's
you can't give me a functional purpose of not only including that stuff, but you're like watermarking it too. Like you clearly want
oh yeah,
like
I
attention from
just
it.
well, I know that people are gonna steal my stuff. I just wanted to like have a thorough like it was from a point of I need content for my video and I want this to be as thorough and like recent and like updates. Like I was more thinking about this is exclusive stuff nobody else has. And I wanted like that. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that literally came first before everything else. And I'm realizing now that that's kind of fucked,
Yes,
right?
yeah. So despite previously like feigning concern about his mental health to explain why you were like being
Well, no,
supportive of him
I
in
do
private,
care.
to explain why you're being supportive of him in private, right? It's now come to you're like admitting, right, that you've included somebody you've acknowledged is mentally unwell. You're including clips to embarrass him. You're including clips that embarrass him for the sake of having content to make on him.
I can see how other people might think that that's embarrassing, but that genuinely like wasn't my like what I thought. That's not how I saw those clips. I just was like, hey, this is like, he changed his appearance, like, he's doing film. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna convince people, but
You keep
it,
saying
like I said, it's hard because
you say this
nobody
about
can mind read.
Rose. You say this about
Because
everything instead of saying
yeah,
instead of
because
saying it was actually this way that's unfavorable to me.
okay,
It's always we're
because
misinterpreting
Aiden,
it.
because Aiden, I know how you feel about me, and I know that you have all these negative views of me.
It's because I'm
and
biased,
I,
right? It's not. I'm objectively
yeah,
assessing
and
this.
that's yeah, you exactly. It's because you're biased, and when I say that, it's because I know that there's like a disconnect there, and I just don't think that I can explain it in a way that's going to change your mind, and I'm just accepting that because that's like the healthy thing to do.
But
Because
Rose,
I used to not be able to like accept that people would like not view me the way that I view myself.
But
All
Rose,
that shit, right?
here's why my opinion of you doesn't matter in the context of this argument. My description of what your previously stated intentions were versus your how it conflicts your behavior now. I've just given description of events that have either been perpetrated or described by you, not like an interpretation. It is factual that you did include embarrassing clips of him in your recent video that served no functional purpose, and it is factual that your excuse for seeming supportive of him in DMs was that you were concerned that he would kill himself and you were concerned about his mental health. Those are just factual things you've said and done.
Well, I mean, being embarrassing, that's an opinion, right? Like, I'm a trans woman. I don't think it's embarrassing to have blue hair or, like, paint your nails. Like, I wouldn't call it that, right?
Didn't you literally state in the new video that, like, you said it, yeah, you start a film career that isn't going well, to say the least. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so I mentioned the film career. I think I said that specifically because like I just knew that people were going to like watch it, and it was literally from a point of like I want views. It's fucked. I know.
Okay, but if you didn't think it was embarrassing, why did you say before showing the obviously embarrassing clip that it isn't going well, to say the least?
Dude,
and
I'll be real with you.
That clip's part of a bigger movie, right? Why not include another clip? Why did you include a clip that's like very evidently embarrassing and looks bizarre in the context you've presented it?
Yeah, good point actually. So when I first was watching like the film that he sent me, like I was like thinking at it a completely different way. I was like more impressed by like, the different like locations and like, you know, the act, like I wasn't focusing on like certain things, but when I'm reevaluating the same video that he sent me, I'm looking at it from a perspective of like content. And so I'm thinking, okay, what are the things that people are going to want to see? And just now, like I'm literally just starting to realize as we're speaking all of this. So it's actually very therapeutic. And I want to thank you for, you know, enlightening me on this, because it's actually, helping me a lot, you know?
It's no problem. It's no
So that
problem.
but yeah, of course.
But just to answer the question, because I didn't really feel like I got an answer. When you said that it wasn't going well before presenting that specific clip, what did you mean by it wasn't going well?
Like I said, the first time I saw the clip, I didn't think of it that way, but I was looking at it from a purely content perspective. And I thought to myself, like, you know, I'm making this negative video. And so, I have all these things. Let me be like, oh, it's not going well.
Because it's a bad looking clip, right? It looks like a bad movie if you saw that clip, right?
For the specific clip I played, yeah.
So you did. So just to be clear, you did know it was an embarrassing bad clip when you showed it, right?
I knew specifically that like commentary channels would like view it a certain. So
How
yeah,
else do you viewed it that way when you said it wasn't going well and then presented an embarrassing clip?
Yeah, like I said, I think this is very enlightening, and it's something that I'm gonna take into account. So yeah, I mean, I genuinely didn't think that at the time, but you're walking me through it, and I'm starting to understand it.
But you
and
can't
yeah.
you can't explain to me the alternative that you were thinking that would contradict the notion that you viewed it as embarrassing, because you denied that you thought it was embarrassing, or you denied my assertion that it's an embarrassing clip.
I didn't originally, like I said, maybe I'm just like naive or something. I just figured like, oh, you know, I could just be like, hi, he's making music and it's not that good. I didn't think it was like embarrassing. It's just like, you know, like it literally was as simple as, oh, you know, it's not that good. Like I don't think he's gonna make a career in this. It wasn't like, oh, this is embarrassing. It's just like, oh, look, it's another film student who thinks he's gonna succeed. Or I don't even fucking know. I made this video in like 3 hours, and you can kind of
No. I know the video's like low effort and not good. I know that, but that's not what I'm trying to figure out was like your intention for certain things. And I just hold on. I just really need to.
I mean, when I make it so fast, it's hard to know what my intention is, because I'm just like trying to get this thing out, you know, before I fall asleep, and that's really it. And you know, you don't have time to really think things through. You just gotta, you know,
Well, it was
edit it all
edited. You were taking the
together.
time to watermark stuff. Like it doesn't seem like you're just like rambling to a camera. Like this does seem like it was, you know, there had to have been some thought into why you were saying what you were saying, right? You take the time to
I
make like.
recorded for like 10 minutes. I mean, I didn't have a script or anything, so I appreciate that. It seems like all put together. You know, that's a compliment, because it really was so last minute.
Also tried to start a career in film, and you know, I wouldn't say that it's going particularly well.
Okay. Let me see what's on stream to make sure you're not making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm watching the clip again, so that we're arguing about.
Okay.
You know what?
Okay.
How about
Appreciate
you
that.
clean up a fucking mess for once?
The same could be said about.
So come on, like you can't tell me you didn't know that this was an embarrassing clip.
Like I said, I was looking back through it, and at the time I thought it was like, I was impressed by like the film stuff, and then I see that specifically and I'm like, oh, I should include that in the video.
Because why? What about it was worth including?
I just thought it was funny. Like I thought, you know.
So yeah,
it literally.
It was like
it wasn't. I didn't.
Embarrassing clip. Yes.
I think the whole thing is like he's being like possessed or something. Like there's an actual purpose. You know. Again, like I just whatever.
Okay.
I don't think you need to harbor on this. Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify, the interpretations of these events is not just because it seems this way or due to preconceived biases. It's because the facts of every piece of information publicly available to us and your own statements about your own intentions actively contradict your defenses of yourself. It's not because I have some rose derangement syndrome or whatever. I think I've been relatively fair despite knowing about your history. I've even like thought he fucked you over when he came out and said he wasn't going to publicly associate with you. I thought that was
Thank
fake
you
as
for
fuck,
that.
despite
I
not liking
appreciate
you and
that.
knowing about your history. So the
That means
thing,
a lot.
yeah. Well, I'm saying this because the reason I'm saying what I'm saying now is because just the facts actively go against you.
Well, no, I disagree, and I wouldn't if I were to like spend more time making the video. I wouldn't make the same decisions. So it's a learning process. I can agree that that's something I probably shouldn't have done, and I can move forward knowing that.
Okay.
But again, I don't think we need to harbor on this because I don't think there's like really. I mean, what? There's no point to this really. But anyway,
Well, I
is
mean,
there anything else?
yeah, no, that about sums up my questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Well, yeah, I think I've been pretty calm. I've been like, you've been pretty, nice to me, and that means a lot to me. Thanks for letting me speak. Um, I hope that it doesn't come back to Rose is like awful, and like, we can humanize people and have honest conversations, and this is part of that. So, yeah,
Yeah, thanks. Take
this
care.
is productive and good. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so none of my assertions have changed, just to be clear. I know Aiden jumped scare. None of my assertions about this individual have changed as a result of that conversation. I think Rose knows that because Rose even says, "I know why it seems this way. I know why it seems this way." Um, but yeah, that's going to conclude tonight's stream. I just need to read out some donations before we head out that I didn't get to read out because we were in the midst of a conversation. Whoa! I'm sorry, I missed some shit. W Freestyle from Cal. True. We love BradTaste and freestyle. Will is me with the 5. Thank you so much, Will. 100% cap. True. True. I do think there was a ton of dishonesty in the course of that conversation. I nut with the 1,000 yen. Don't worry, Aiden. This is the positive content she wants to build her brand around. Yeah, I just by the way, appreciate those donuts so much, guys. But I think that it's very obvious that she's not like it is like Schrodinger's like concerned, empath. It's Schrodinger's empath, right? Like no, those clips were obviously included because because Rose had perceived them as embarrassing because they were embarrassing. That's not just my subjective opinion. And I agree that this was a quick video with padding added to make more content, but I disagree with the Rose's own assertion of her intent, right? This was included because Rose knew it was embarrassing. Okay, I don't condone comments, just to be clear, about her, about her passing or her, her being trans or her gender identity or whatever. We have so much to criticize her for, so much to make fun of her for. That's just like not really going to be necessary. And I do try to. I think my arguments are way more effective when I'm good faith. Yeah, fat jokes are fun. I don't give a fuck about fat jokes. I think that is something that is actively, in her control. That's worth. And you'd be like, oh, well, it's still in your control to transition. I think gender dysphoria is, yeah, like it is in your control to transition, but like, to not and have gender dysphoria, like it's. I could go into that, right? I am not Schrodinger's empath. I do have empathy for some people, sympathy for some people, on various things. But yeah, so that's probably gonna wrap it up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I think tomorrow, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll definitely be seeing you guys on this coming Wednesday. Or Tuesday. I'll be seeing you guys on Tuesday. And yeah, great stream. Make sure to like on your way out. I have been enjoying the content lately. Another one, it's been 4 hours, okay? Basically 4 hours. So yeah. All right, take care, guys. Good night. Bye bye.